recording.
Okay.
Now.
Now I can?
Yes,
All right.
you may.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lizzie Moramisato. I live in Jefferson Park. I have been a resident here for the past 31 years. And I would like to start with this presentation with a video, okay, that I found very recently. It's a treasure. So I would like to share that with you all. Okay, I am not able to.
Are you on? Oh, well, that would be
screen.
useful. Yes, hang on. It would be useful if I let you.
I got it.
Okay. Thank you. So let's see, Safari. All right, so let me start this in 12:29. Okay.
This is my project, which has to do with the area in which I was born and raised, called 30th Street, and it's an area in Los Angeles bordered by Jefferson and Adams and Western and Arlington. And specifically, those streets define that area because of restrictive covenants that were enforced before World War II, where people of color could not live in different parts of the city. These are the family names of the Japanese families that lived in the 30th Street area.
It seemed like the group is getting smaller and smaller. They've kept in touch, and they still do.
Okay. Next clip.
This 30th Street neighborhood, quite a few houses on this particular street were Japanese families' homes, and there are quite a few on 31st Street. And so, in a way, that's what.
And the third and last clip. It's my favorite, my personal favorite. There you go.
Mother says, you can't come in the house with roller skates. So you figure out a way to walk on your knees and when you go in the house, and you don't have to take your skates off. We had moved from 30th Street to 31st Street to a house near Western.
And what's your name?
Momo Nagano.
Momo?
Uh-huh. My maiden name is Nagano, N-A-G-A-N. I'm divorced, so I use my maiden name. But I have 4 kids,
Yeah.
you know, and I tell them about how you know, this neighborhood was, how much fun we used to have.
Yeah.
I was with these 2 boys, and they had a BB gun, and we started shooting at the street light.
Yeah.
And then I climbed up the tree with a BB gun, and I was going to shoot the street light from the tree, and a police car pulled up. They got a report that somebody was shooting, and they said, have you seen anybody? And the boys said, no, they didn't see anybody. And I was up in the tree hoping the police wouldn't look up. God, it looks the same.
Oh, yeah. Same? Yeah.
Uh-huh. You know, the furnishings are different, but
Yeah, but the walls and
we had a piano here. This was our junk drawer. You know how you always have
everything
where you
in it.
just throw everything.
Yeah,
in.
throw everything in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the kitchen we had to do over, you know, it's just one of those things that you have to do over.
One time.
So I will stop here, and I will be sure to share in the chat the link to this YouTube video. So I wanted to start by showing these short clips because we are celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and also May is also National Preservation History Month. So I feel that as a neighborhood that was at one point in time uh, vastly populated by different groups of Asian Americans, and in this case, Japanese Americans that thrived and coexisted with other groups in the Crenshaw, West Adams area. And also with the increased rise in violence, in violent acts against members of the different Asian American groups, we felt it was relevant to recognize that, again, at this point in time, this was a thriving community, but also that it didn't live without challenges, and history can repeat itself, and history certainly informs us of what happened, that what happened can happen again. So without further ado, I will start my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so let me. And please forgive the trivia title, but I just wanted to make it touch upon the human elements and the fact that we are all human beings living in our neighborhoods. So I've titled this this presentation of Neighbor Signs, Cakes, and Mochi, and you will see why. The history of the Asian American presence in the United Neighborhoods. So we just saw Momo Nagano, a proud, very proud daughter of Jefferson Park, specifically the part that is now part of the Jefferson Park HPOZ, which is the area of Jefferson Park east of Arlington and between Adams, Western, and Jefferson. Many families, Japanese American families, settled on 30th Street, and they call themselves part of the 30th Street gang in a positive way, not meant to, what we know as gangs. And this is, she was a weaver, a very renowned Japanese American artist, and she literally wove the history of the Japanese American experience during World War II. The stars, in place of the stars,
Lindsay, do you know your PowerPoint's not up?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I can, yeah, sorry. Do you want me? I can share if you need me to.
Okay, let me, I wonder why.
Because I think you need to unshare the prior before you share it.
Let me try to do that real quick.
Yeah, so because you're still online on the share. So you have, if you click unshare or end share.
New share. Okay, maybe. Yeah. Does this work?
If that's your PowerPoint, does it look like it does?
Okay.
So hang on, I'll tell you if
can you guys see it now?
Right. So the first page said of neighbors, signs, cakes, and mochi. I have that, but that's not what there you are.
Okay, so now, yes. So this is her her masterpiece, which is now part of one of the artifacts at the Japanese American National Museum. In place of the stars, she writes the names of the 10 internment camps that were Japanese American families were relocated to right after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and the names of all the Japanese families that resided on 30th Street. this is another sign of a business, family business on 28th Street. And it reads, "Many thanks for your patronage. Hope to serve you in the near future. God be with you till we meet again, Mr. and Mrs. Iseri." And again, it's a reminder of what Japanese Americans went through during World War II. They lived here, they settled, they thrived, and in a split of a second, they were taken to these relocation centers as reaction to, you know, blatant racism. Another building that is also relevant to this topic is the Kashu Realty. Well, in this case, I will show the sign on Jefferson Boulevard. Kazunouye was one of the internees who, after his camp experience, settled here in the Jefferson Park area and became a realtor. And his role was very significant because he very intently tried to buy properties from white neighbors who had a progressive philosophy, and they were pro-racial integration, and sold to both African-American families and Japanese-American families. And this is how our part of Jefferson Park became populated mostly by these two groups. He also was, his role was significant in trying to have the Bank of Tokyo, which was called then, and we can see the building here, moved to Jefferson Park so that loans could be made out to these families. Another business, Japanese-American business that brings all kinds of very fond family memories to the old timers here in Jefferson Park is Grace Pastries. And people tell me to this day that there was not a birthday, not a wedding that was not catered by George Izumi and his award-winning cakes. And his cupcakes, or tea cakes, are also very, very popular. There's a recipe that you can find online, and this is the actual sign. My personal hope is that it becomes protected at some point. And their story becomes full circle, because now there's artwork in progress being designed that will be one of the artwork art pieces featured, art murals featured in one of the metro stations on the addition of the Crenshaw line. So it's very exciting for the Japanese American community. And this is just a personal feature of a favorite place of mine, which was on the same block, just a little bit east of Grace Pastries. And this was a Japanese pastries establishment. When I came here in the 90s, they were very much active, and unfortunately, around 2013-14, they shut down their business. And again, you know, for New Year's and all the special holidays, those were the pastries with which my family, we celebrated with. So it's very sad to have seen this business, you know, gone. Another Japanese restaurant that is also very much in the memories of old residents. This one was Bungo. It was on Washington Boulevard in Arlington Heights. And this is the only, there's no pictures online, but I found this one thanks to Laura, who has shared a few images, quite a few images actually with me. So I thank you to her. And this one, I just want to touch upon the relationships, the strong relationships that were forged between neighbors. And this one is this is Wally Matsuura, who lives in Kinney Heights. I have not had the honor to meet him, but I've read that he hosts salon. He hosts neighbors on his porch every Saturday. Very thriving community of Kinney Heights. And he was one of the lucky ones because even though during the internment, many of these families lost their businesses, lost their homes, but he was one of the lucky ones because he had a white relative who held on to the property. There were also other very lucky neighbors who were helped by other neighbors. In this case, there were many African-American families who watched over their Japanese-American families' properties. So when they left the camps, they came back to their homes and businesses, but that was a very, very few, unfortunately. And now we can move on to other Asian American groups that we don't really know of that were that settled here in West Adams within the UNNC footprint, and a little further out. The Filipino Federation of America is the first organized group in the country, and their leader actually lived in this house, very famous house, the Civic Underhouse, in West Adams Avenues. And you can see here that they're here at a gathering very early on. And this is the house that you know, we drive through on a pretty much daily basis. And we know of the Korean migration, vast migration that happened during the late 60s, but there was actually a first wave of early settlers, and they arrived around at the turn of the century, 94, between 94 and 1904 and 1910. And right now, the Korean American community is the largest diaspora outside of Korea, and they settled here in the United States. And here we have two groups of a congregation from the Korean Methodist Church, which is the first Korean Protestant congregation in Los Angeles. And the other one is the Korean Presbyterian Church on Jefferson Boulevard. And there's also the Korean National Association, which is the Museum of an Independence Movement, which is on Jefferson Boulevard around Normandy. And what happened was that these settlers arrived to the United States because of the conflict with the Japanese occupation of Korea at the time. And now, but they always were promoting or wishing for independence. And this museum gathers, I guess, some of the artifacts that helped to their efforts. And again, this is a very broad, incomplete, in progress, part of a larger personal project of mine. But again, I would like to just finish with this image of a school picture of residents in this area. It's actually the 39th Street School, but it could have been 6th Avenue, could have been Dorsey, LA High, and we can see in their faces, again, a group of just, at this point, you know, life didn't get in the way, and they were just colorblind, thriving, harmonious group of kids whose families went through many challenges, but they grew up together. And hopefully we can hope that our community, as we go through all these changes, that we can also hope for a future where we can coexist, live together, thrive together. And so with this, I end. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I am trying to put my own video back on, sorry. Here we go. So does anybody have any questions for Lizzie? I see we have an applause for Lizzie. And no, I really appreciate all the work that you did. It was great. And I almost interrupted to say when you showed the Filipino Federation photo, on the far left at the bottom, there was a guy who was a good foot taller than everyone else. And that was General Mancado, who was the head of the Federation. But you were doing such a good job. I properly did not interrupt. Anyway, does anyone have any questions for Lizzie, or shall we move on?
I think we should move on. Yes.
Lizzie,
sorry that I took all this time.
Lizzie, I have a question. This is Steve.
Yes.
Thank you. That was really terrific.
Thank you.
Coming from are there efforts ongoing to preserve the realty sign and the confectionery sign?
That is a personal project that I'm hoping to be able to start soon.
I think that would really be terrific for the historic integrity of the history of this neighborhood.
Yes, exactly. I really want that to happen.
And Lizzie?
Yes,
I wondered if you wanted to mention anything about the Japanese American Community Credit Union that's still extant and functioning on.
Yes, of course. So there are still very thriving businesses that were founded by Japanese Americans. We still have Tax Hardware, Tax Coffee Shop, the Seinan Senior Center on Jefferson and 11th and 10th, and right across the street there's the Japanese American Credit Union, still thriving, still standard. The one in Torrance closed, but the one here remains, and they provide very lots of services to the you can bypass the banks and use the credit union, and they are open to the whole community, not only to Japan. Find them online, and they will be very happy to serve you. Thank you, Audrey.
Okay. So Lisa, I know you had that you were planning to go a little earlier, but I've made you a co-host. You have an actual share screen presentation, and can you introduce yourself?
I do. I can. My name is Lisa Hart. I'm with the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance. I know you folks have a meeting at 7, and I actually also have a meeting at 7. So I'm wondering if maybe I could join you folks next month, if that might work better.
That's fine. I wish you would raise your hand when I said who goes first, because I would have let you go first if I had known you had to leave.
Well,
oh,
it's Asian American and Pacific Islander Awareness Month. And wow, Lizzie's presentation was amazing. Lisa and I texted a little bit about that wow, this is a meaningful, very meaningful presentation.
Yeah, so I really love history, and I particularly find this history so compelling. So I was really, I feel really lucky to have been able to hear it this evening. So I just think it's maybe working out for the best, if it's okay if I present next month instead of this month.
Not a problem at all. I just apologize because I hadn't realized that.
Apologize too.
May I, Lisa's not gonna toot her own horn, but can I just say that Lisa is the head of the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance. So Janie Williams, Dan Cagle, and I are members, right, of the Sustainability Committee here at UNNC. Well, so there are 99 different neighborhood councils, and many of them have a sustainability officer or a committee. And Lisa Hart herds us, right? And tries,
I think that's fair.
right?
Yes.
And there's meaningful action that the NCSA does. Idling of cars, adding electrification to buildings for electric cars, blowers, gas-powered blowers and mowers. Lisa, what else? I know there's a whole lot else.
Well, the trees.
The trees is a big one. Yeah, that's
Trees.
yeah.
Yes, we're working on a lot of fronts, really a lot of fronts, and I would love to be able to take the time to talk a little bit more about that with you folks, and also to talk about electric vehicles, which was the reason I reached out to Elizabeth and Dan, because we really want to make sure that people are aware, that everybody in every community is aware of the ways you can get an electric vehicle and the fact that it's probably easier and less expensive than you think.
Right. Okay, so we'll reschedule your presentation for next month. So sorry. Just so
That's fine.
sorry.
Honestly, I'm really happy that I got to hear Lizzie's presentation. I used to work for the County Human Relations Commission, and we worked on a lot of the things that Lizzie was talking about. So it's very actually it was really heartwarming for me to hear that. So thank you, Lizzie.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you, folks. I'll see you
Bye,
next month.
Lisa.
Bye.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
So, so for everybody else who's here, we can continue to talk about Asian American Heritage Month, and that is because we do not have quorum. So yeah, I know. So there we are. So Lizzie,
Excuse me, I have a question. So I just wanted to add that on the third clip, that house is directly across the street from mine. So Momo Nagano at some point lived right across the street from my house, and my house makes a cameo appearance. But also the James family, Shirley and Melville, they were our beloved neighbors. They have since passed, and I knew that this video existed, and Shirley mentioned it to me, and I told her I will look for the video and I will show it to you. And unfortunately, she passed about 2 years ago. So it was very heartwarming to see them on video, even though it's too late to share it with them, but I will share it with her son.
oh yes, sorry, Lizzie. So one other thing I might mention, so Lizzie showed you photographs of the Korean Methodist Church and the Korean Presbyterian Church. So the Presbyterian Church is already a city landmark, but the Korean Methodist Church has been nominated to be a city historic cultural monument. So there's some controversy surrounding that. So we're crossing fingers that would happen. So anyway.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dynasty Taylor. I came in because I was under the assumption that I'll be presenting tonight. So I'm not sure if I should stay or should I don't know the next instruction.
You're on the agenda, Dynasty. You're on the agenda. It's just a couple of hours down the road.
Oh, are you guys still? I thought you said something about there's no quorum.
Well, no, there's no quorum yet. We get to yik yak till 7:30. I just can't call the meeting to order until we have quorum. This was a presentation. We have advanced presentations, sort of in case we don't have quorum, but we really intend to have quorum at 7 o'clock. I just don't know why we don't. So
okay, I'll stay put until further instruction.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So we have one.
Yeah, so because we are, I'm going to count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're very short of quorum. John Arnold's on his way, I know, but otherwise we are very short of quorum.
We could just
No,
brief
we
the
cannot.
information items.
We cannot.
Yes, we can.
Okay, Greg, you're arguing with me. Gibson, weigh in here. Greg would like us to do public comments. I checked, and my understanding is we cannot start the meeting till we can start the meeting. But since you're here, I think, Gibson.
I'm here. It can only be presentations, not even public comment, because it's an agenda item. So it's one of the situations where, yeah, the only thing is accepted right now in accordance if we're to stay accordingly with the Brown Act, it would have to wait until we have full quorum.
Exactly. So you guys can continue to discuss Lizzie's presentation, and that's about it. So, and if there are no questions on Lizzie's presentation at this point, I think I can also pause the recording. As Gibson, I guess I should ask you that too. Should I pause the recording? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
The only thing in the cloud recording, it's going to create two files.
Yes. Oh, I see. Right. It's
I mean, you
cloud.
can. And I don't think it's a big deal because when you get quorum, then you just start it there, so it'll be fine.
Okay. So I'm going to pause the recording, and here we are. I'm officially calling to order at 7:13 UNNC's governing board meeting for Thursday, May 6th. My name is Laura Myers, and I am the president of UNNC. And I'm sure this is okay. Chris needs the Zoom link, so can someone send her
I'll
that?
send it to her.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'm going to share the screen with the agenda as soon as I find that. Here we go. And the first order of business will be to approve the meeting agenda. So I'm showing first, take this a little smaller, the first page of agenda items of the agenda, which are the usual upfronts, reports, comments, elections update, training report, then a planning and zoning case. Page 3 on the agenda, which is the second page of items, we have secretary's report and executive committee, the funding items. Funding items continue on the next page of the agenda, plus our budget adjustments, committee updates, 2 community impact statements proposed, and the rest of the treasurer's report, a president's report, if we haven't gone too long, and adjournment. I put 9:30. I'm not taking any bets that we will achieve that goal since we're also starting late. Anyway, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second, Lizzie.
Okay, Hugh Moore made the motion. Lizzie seconds. We don't do a BAC, so I will do the other thing that I forgot to do, which is, if you are new to Zoom, put your cursor on the black screen on the word participants and pull it up. And at the bottom of that, you'll see the ability to raise your hand. All in favor can either raise their hand, which would be a little blue hand, or click on reactions, which will be a yellow or symbol. So all in favor of approving the agenda, all who are board members, please. Nope, Jim, put your hand down. You're not a board member. Only board members get to vote tonight. I'm putting Jim's, okay, great. Okay. Lizzie's raising her real hand because she's a co-host. I'm raising my real hand because I'm a co-host. And I see no hands from Hugo, Hugh, Gabby, Tori. None of them are voting. So Marielle, need some votes here. Michael.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you who's
6.
missing. those who are not voting, Michael, Raheem, Mario, Gabby, Tori, Chris. Chris can raise her hand, but she probably didn't see what we did. So do we have a majority yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus me is 7. Greg is 8. Lizzie is 9. So we're good to go. Greg, do you approve the agenda? I'm sorry.
Yes, yes.
Fine, we're
yes.
good to go. We are good to go. Moving on to meeting protocols reminder. So we run these meetings as very participatory. This is a Zoom meeting format. We ask, however, that you more or less treat it like a Zoom webinar, in that please keep yourself muted unless you're going to raise your hand and be called on to speak, or you are a presenter. Please certainly don't interrupt anybody. Please be kind and civil and respectful to all of our speakers. The Board of Neighborhood Council's resolution on civility sits in our advance agenda packet every month for everyone to read. Okay, next, public comments and announcements. 1 minute per person. I'm going to put down the hands that are up because I think they're still voting. And now, if anyone has any public comment on any item not on tonight's agenda, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, gone. Next item is Council District 10, other government officials, or any city agencies, reports or comments. So the only government official I see here would be Gibson. Does Dunn have anything to tell us tonight?
Just a quick FY. I mean, I don't know if it's an update, but I think it is an update. But we are working on the onboarding process for upcoming board members. So that will be rolling out in the next few weeks. Hopefully, we'll have it finalized by the end of the month. So our team has been working to revitalize or to update the onboarding program. So for the upcoming board, I'll be following up, making sure folks get their logins, making sure that they complete their required Cornerstone information. And also just want to let everybody know the code of conduct is getting an update. And so it will be something as another policy that is getting streamlined right now. So Raquel has definitely been laying out certain aspects of the neighborhood councils that definitely need to get streamlined or maybe just updated and in the way we function. Just one thing is we don't have an update when neighborhood councils will be sort of given the heads up and doing meetings beyond the virtual meeting. So right now this is our way of life for the foreseeable future. But we do, that is something that the department is keeping note of and working on. This California State Assembly just kind of took action to create a hybrid model in regards to the Brown Act when it comes to public meetings. I forget the name of the assembly bill. I'll send it to everybody. So it's just something that we keeping track of. I just want to make sure that if folks have any issues getting into the Cornerstone platform, if you know your training is going to expire, please reach out to me. If you have any questions about stuff, just feel free to reach out to me, and hopefully I'll be able to be of assistance. And we hope everybody has a good meeting today.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Gibson, who, by the way, if you're, I think you know, but he is our, I don't even know what NEA stands for.
Neighborhood Empowerment Advocate.
Advocate.
Yes.
Gibson is our advocate at the department. Yes, at the Department of Empowerment, and maybe at the clerk's funding side too.
I try to make sure that the funding questions I get to the right people, but right. I'm always trying to be proactive in making sure I reach I'm able to get any neighborhood council issues addressed.
Right. Lizzie.
Gibson, I have a quick question for you. I don't know if you have the information, because I know the city clerks is managing mostly the elections, but during election day weekend, is there going to be any presence of the city clerks, a representative at the site where the drop box is?
I don't know, to be honest with you, but I will
Okay.
follow up. I'm not sure. I haven't been following how they've been doing it of recent, but it's definitely something we can ask of them and just get an update about that.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I don't think anybody from Council District 10 is present. Is that accurate? I don't know who the person is on the phone, so I think that must be accurate. And anybody else from any other governmental agency, city department? Okay, moving on. Lizzie, neighborhood council elections update.
Yes, just very quickly, this is the time, this is the window where neighbors can request a ballot and also start to vote. And the way to submit their ballot is via regular mail, self-addressed stamped envelope with a and just mail it, drop it off at a blue mailbox. If you choose to wait until election day weekend, please do so. And the drop box at the Jefferson Park Library is the one to be used. So please, we have until May 18th to request a ballot, but that is very, very late in the game. So please now, if you haven't done so already, please request your ballots. If you need help and guidance, please go to our website, unnc.org/elections. If you have questions, please write to us at elections@unnc.org. Hopefully there will be some outreach efforts happening soon so we can help our neighbors request ballots and vote. And I would like to please ask our board members, area reps, at-large reps, if you can pledge to help 5 neighbors, that would be about 100 people who
Go on it.
Yes, so please do that. We have about 90 neighbors who have already requested a ballot. That was the latest update. So the figures are looking optimistic, but we can do so much better. So please request a ballot and vote, become involved. We can do so much for the community. So please, your vote matters. Su voto cuenta, por favor. Thank you.
Daniel Park had his hand up. Did you have a question? You can unmute yourself. Daniel Park? Okay, moving to Nancy Cruz.
Hey, Lizzie, are you going to need any help with respect to the cleanup event that's happening? I know that we said we were going to try and distribute some ballots there or something.
You mean the shredding?
Yeah, the shredding event.
Yes, we're hoping to be there if the event does happen.
Right, that's later on in the agenda.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So somebody named Daniel Park had raised his hand, and I feel like he's disappeared from our entire grid at this point. So does Greg, do you see him anywhere?
I do not.
Oh, so sorry. So we'll just all know that if he can log back in, we'll call on him and he'll ask Lizzie a question, I think. Are there any other questions about the elections update? All right. Board member training report and update, Greg.
Okay, let me share screen.
I would say you were frozen there for a moment.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here. So let me go to.
And by the way, by some miracle, we're on time.
That's good.
I don't know how.
Don't jinx it, Laura.
All right.
Okay,
I know.
so here, we'll do it like this. Okay, we'll share a screen like this. Can everyone see that? The board report?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so with this, so let's talk about the color code. If it's gray, everything is fine. If it's yellow, that means it's coming up in the next 2 months or so. If it's tannish, you have about 3 or 4 months before your item comes up. If it's red, then it's like overdue. So what we can do is, we've been sending this information out to people for their training. As Gibson has said, helping individuals with their training to make sure they can log on to this. So there you have it. That's your training information.
Okay.
I think it's best for us to just to look at it months in advance and just get it out of the way. Of course, you can see a lot of us have training that's due when the new year starts.
Right.
So we might
Right.
as well
So,
just go knock it out of the way.
right. And that is what I wanted to say. For those of you who stood for election 2 years ago, such as myself, we're expiring. So for someone like me, since I had already been on the board, it was pretty clearly a July 1 for my expirations. But there'll be other people who are in that, I guess one would call it a pledge class, the group Bs, I think. I think it's A that's up for election. So we group B people, Bers, pledge class, all would be within, starting around July 1-ish for the next couple of months. So we should just jump on it in June, I think, just because, so we can all be good come the next board session. Jasmine, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to let Greg know that I just completed my ethics training.
Thanks, Jasmine. Appreciate you.
Okay, so we have a little parentheses on this agenda item. Hunter had not taken his code of conduct, but then apparently tried several times and then did it again on Monday, right around the same time that Dunn had to remove him just because of their time frame policies. So he did it, got a confirmation that said, congratulations, you have completed your code of conduct training, but it didn't log into the system. So there's something going on with the glitches, but he has been removed. So I put on the agenda that we can reappoint him. He's not here, but I think that might be because he got that email. So I don't know. Gibson had asked me to try and talk to him in the last 2 days, but I've had an awful work week. And so I did not get to have that conversation about him doing it one more time. And Gibson, I don't know, the issue seems to be either an iPhone or he didn't push a button. I mean, in other words, it seems technical because I've seen the congratulations, you have completed thing, but no certificate was generated. So Gibson, did you have any further thing that came up? I was not able to speak to him this week after we talked.
No, we didn't have a chance. And I definitely know that if folks this was an issue that our admin team was not able to figure out on the back end. We're not sure why, but we're just gonna ask if you can try to do it on a computer if possible, or an iPad. Right. I think the phone, there's an issue, but we'll follow up with the tech team, the ITA team that does Cornerstone.
Right. So it's kind of up to the board tonight, since Hunter actually isn't here, if we do or don't want to simply reappoint him, which gives him another, week to actually get this resolved, or if we don't wish to do that. I need to leave that up. What do you want to do? Anybody? Comments? Greg?
My concern is that he isn't present to express his position. And if someone isn't, my thing is like for all things that people are advocating for, if they're not present, I'm not in favor of moving forward on that item.
All right.
Whether that's funding the course or whatever else, since we can't hear their voice.
All right.
I would.
But that's just my, that's
No,
just an
I'm
input.
soliciting opinions
Right.
before I do it.
As a neighbor or neighborhood person, I actually agree with Greg. I think the fact that it took so long to even complete the trainings was worrisome, but also that he's not here to advocate is troublesome. So I would agree with Greg on this one, and maybe look for someone with a greater commitment.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. Anybody else? I don't want to have a long discussion about this. All right. I think we'll just move on to the Planning and Zoning Committee. John, do you want to chair this portion? Oh, but you're eating. Maybe that was embarrassing for me to say. And you're mute. You're mute and eating.
They can't see me. I wasn't expecting to host, but
no, that's fine.
Host, but,
no, that is totally fine. But if you would like to, as the co-chair of Planning and Zoning.
I need to get the agenda up in front of me.
Oh, okay. I will just announce it, but I'll let you be the person to moderate the question answer after the presentation. Okay. This is item 7A, and it will require a BAC. It's Planning and Zoning case number ZA 2021.
This is me.
Right. Okay, everybody needs to be muted for the moment, please. 1174-CU, which is conditional use, -CCMP, which is the clearance for the HPOZ at 2124 Venice Boulevard in the Harvard Heights neighborhood and within the HPOZ. So the Venice Church of Christ proposes the construction of a new 2-story church sanctuary with support facilities, office, library, multi-purpose room, and an attached pastor's residence. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit allowing the operation of a church within the commercial zone, and it's replacing an existing but vacant church use. There's the separate case, that CCMP proceeding went to a different jurisdictional body, the Historic Preservation Overlay Zone, and the Harvard Heights HPOC board has approved the design for it. So what we're looking at tonight is the conditional use permit. And I'd like to introduce Jim Sewer and Tony Plesko. And Tony, I'll make you a co-host because you're sharing the screen. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to find you to do that, but Jim can introduce, well, or
Okay.
whoever wants to talk. Whoever wants to talk.
Good evening, UNNC Governing Board. Thank you for having us here. My name is Jim Sir. I'm representing the Venice Church of Christ, and I'd just like to briefly introduce Gerald Johnson to give a welcome on behalf of the church. Gerald?
Thank you, Jim. My name is Gerald Johnson. I'm with the Venice Church of Christ, as Jim stated. I'm with the Board of Directors. With me tonight is our President Orman Lewis, and also our Chief Financial Officer, Adam Girion. The Venice Church of Christ, if I may, give me a couple of seconds, has a history in the neighborhood of Harvest. I'm sorry, but we were incorporated in 1939. We have a history there in the area that we are now planning or would like to eventually build. We were there until 1960, at which time we left that location and moved into a building at 1503 Venice Boulevard. We've been there since that time. However, a few years ago, we, for various reasons, we realized it was time that we needed to either renovate or take some other steps as far as getting that building back into code, or either consider maybe a new build. Making a long story short, we did some analysis, had some analyses done. We were soon convinced that it might be in our best interest to consider a new build. And we, at that point, contacted Pleskow and his Associates as our architectural firm. And Jim, if he did not state already, he's our project manager on it. So now we're in the process of hoping to accomplish this through our meetings with yourself and the HPAWS organization that we're talking with. Adam, if I may have left something out, please feel free to chime in.
Well, I think it's good. And Tony Plesko, the project architect, will be walking us quickly through the project design. Just as Laura had mentioned, this entitlement incorporates both a conditional use permit and a certificate of compatibility with the HPOZ. And as Laura mentioned, the HPOZ board for Harvard Heights has approved it. So with that, I will turn it over to Tony.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Just making sure that everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
You can? Okay, great. And I've been freezing up a little bit here and there. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's others, but I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible. Good evening. The subject property for the church is at the corner of Venice Boulevard and Kingsley Drive, with the majority of the program actually being oriented onto Venice Boulevard, and the parking and so on being off of the rear, and accessed off of Kingsley, and this is in this comports with the regulations outlined in the CPIO. The property size is around a little over 9,000 feet. It's 9,482, and the building itself is about 4,400 square feet. The building is there are really two main components to it. There's the chapel and support services related to it, and a parsonage. So the intent is to have the pastor reside on site full time. Let me take you, given that I know you guys are tight on time, I'm just going to sort of move forward to some of the renderings that'll describe it a little bit better. So this is the elevation from Venice Boulevard.
Oh, it's not moving forward.
It's frozen.
Okay.
Tony, we've lost you. If you can hear us, you're on mute. So in the interest of time, well, there's Tony. Now he's back. Okay.
Hi.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry, folks.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the view from Venice Boulevard. The chapel is here. It's really the most important element in this entire project. So it's the main feature. We've got a courtyard off of Venice that is accessible to the public, it's something that whereby we can kind of enclose the space as needed, but really the project is really trying to open itself up to the community and create a public space and bring people in. This is another view of, hello, can you hear me? This is another mode. This is showing the gate to the off of Venice closed. This is a corner view looking from the towards the southwest, and then this is Kingsley. This is the residential neighborhood behind it, and then the commercial, the view from Venice Boulevard. Another view looking towards the east, and again, there was a significant number of the components, particularly the front facade, was really developed to sort of pick up the scale and massing and rhythm of some of the neighboring buildings. And in this case, the neighboring building is considered a contributor in the HPOZ area. This is an aerial view, which should gives you sort of a better sense of how all the pieces come together. This courtyard off of the street that's created by kind of wrapping program around it, and then allows the chapel to be the primary feature of the project. And behind it is where the parking is located. Here's some other views along the sidewalk. And then down from Kingsley, looking towards the north, kind of you get to see the chapel in this orientation.
How much parking capacity?
Excuse me. We will call on people to ask questions when the presentation is over. Although we need to finish the presentation.
Yeah, I'm almost done. So this is a view looking directly west. So this is the eastern elevation up of Kingsley. And then this is my final slide showing the kind of the interior courtyard space and what that might feel like if it's open and connecting with sort of the energy and sort of the overall activity in the community, along the street, along Venice. So that's it for the presentation. Tried to squeeze it in, Laura. Hopefully that was good enough.
Yeah, I know. So John is going to run this piece, but I will remind everybody again, you'll need to raise your hand and John Arnold will call on you, assuming he is unmuted and is somewhere still in here.
I'm here.
Good. Thank you.
Any questions from question from Chris Carlson?
I'd like to know how much parking is anticipated and being provided for on the site. Can you
Tony,
hear?
are you still there?
Yeah, what was the question? Sorry.
No, how many parking spaces?
We have 60. Well, let me go back to what we have. We have 16 parking spaces plus a couple for the residents, and we have some bike parking as well. And the requirement for parking is based on the number of people in the chapel, or the number of seats in the chapel, which is 85.
Sorry, Marielle has her hand up.
All right. Hi there. I have a couple questions. The first one is, because the rendering is all pretty monochromatic, what is your color scheme? How is it going to blend into the surrounding buildings? First one.
Tony, you look like you're on mute. I don't know if you're still there.
No, I keep falling off, sorry.
Why don't we drop the screen share?
I'm here.
That's probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should drop the screen share because I think the problem is it takes away some of the bandwidth from you.
Yeah.
And Tony and Jim, stay unmuted, please.
I actually have 3 questions. And so do you want them all at once? Because they're not terribly related, or do you want them one by one?
Go ahead.
John?
I would say ask all 3 of them.
Okay, the first one, color scheme, how is this going to integrate into the community? The second one is when will the courtyard and all of the outward facing fencing on Venice be open? I mean, that is an actually heavily utilized walkway along Venice. And so when will that be open and how will you, I noticed the fencing, kind of the perforations. And so I'm just curious to see how long, is it just going to be on Sunday? Is it going to be daily? Those kinds of things. And then the last one is do they have a plan to maintain the parkways? Because currently there's been some issues with the maintenance of the property in Harvard Heights. And so going forward, how do they intend to maintain the properties in the neighborhood?
Well, I can address the first couple of questions regarding the color scheme. We really, it's very, this project is more about form and texture and not so much about color. And so we're looking for something a bit more neutral. We're kind of sort of balancing between, commercial neighbors and residential neighbors. So the scale of the project, the use of actual material, a smooth plaster, a clapboard siding, all of these are really sort of like references to other structures that already exist. So in a way, we didn't want to tip our hand and sort of introduce color, which could begin to call even more, would begin to call too much attention to any one particular part or upset the balance. That would be my response to your question regarding color. With respect to when this thing is open, the intent and, in part, I think the church needs to, would probably need to speak to this, but the intent is that during the daytime hours that the courtyard would be open. And in a way, it's sort of an open hand to the community, and the church is definitely reaching out. They're coming back to a community in which they started, and they're absolutely, interested in reaching out to members of the community and join the congregation. But the thought is that it's open as much as humanly, it's open as much as is practical, and that would be during on weekdays as well as the weekend during services. With respect to service, seeing the parkway, I can't speak to that, but I think we have 3 members of the church here that could definitely answer that.
So this is Armand, if you can hear me. How are you doing, Michelle? Sorry, bad glasses.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. As far as, yes, we would keep it open throughout the weekday. It will be also a residential place, a residence. So we will be having, the preacher will be living there, he and his family. And as far as maintenance goes, when we are fully there, and I know we are more ad hoc right now, but as soon as we're fully there, we will definitely have a routine maintenance crew there providing service to making sure that we are aligned with our landscaping and whatnot. So that's already being budgeted for. So
the church's primary goal is to achieve a demolition permit from the city's building and safety department. We want to eliminate the blight that the existing vacant buildings have caused in the community as fast as we can. Now that we have succeeded in obtaining the HPOZ board's approval, that is a major step to making that possible. That is our primary goal. We want to make this a better neighbor for the rest of Harvard Heights. And to do so, we want to eliminate the existing buildings that are just uninhabitable.
Okay, I just want to give a time check that we're at 7:50.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
There are no other hands, Laura.
Okay. So the Planning and Zoning Committee voted to recommend approval as presented of this project. So again, we're not voting on the design. We're voting on the conditional use permit, which essentially addresses the impacts it might have on the neighborhood as we've just been discussing. So the motion, which I'll put in the chat, was from Planning and Zoning. So it's like motion to approve the project as presented. And since that's made from Planning and Zoning, I'll say Laura moves, but we need a second.
Second.
Okay, I heard a second before I heard Hugh.
I think it was Chris.
Okay. Okay. So Marielle, I'm taking your hand down. Is there any further discussion, or are we able to vote?
Call the question.
Okay. So Greg, this is a BAC. I'll call it if you'll write it. No, I can't. You're muted. Is that a yes? I should start calling. Okay, board members, please unmute yourselves so that when I call you, you're ready to vote. Jasmine.
Yes.
Dorit is
Absent.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say the absent out loud because we're recording. Hunter has
Absent.
been, nope, removed. John,
Yes.
Gabby,
Yes.
Tori. Is Tori still here?
Yes, he said yes.
Okay. Paul.
Yes.
I don't know if Carlos Carrick is or isn't here. I know there's still a mystery phone number.
Absent.
Okay. Laura's a yes. Hugo.
Yes.
Paula is absent.
Absent.
Raheem. Raheem is with children, so I don't know if he's standing there or not. Raheem? Absent for the vote.
Okay.
Isaac is absent. Maria.
Marielle votes yes.
Hugh.
Yes.
Cordell.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
Janie's absent. Lizzie.
Yes.
Okay. So. I have a vote of 15. Does that comport with you, Greg?
Hold on.
I mean, 15 yeses.
Yeah, I'm with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Jim, do you know when your hearing is?
We have not yet had the hearing set. Our geographic area planner has just transferred that to her boss. So I would hope that we will have a date within the next week.
Okay. So be sure to let us know because we need to probably write a letter.
We will.
And asking for a letter the day before actually might be more effective than asking 4 weeks before because I don't do it 4 weeks before. Okay, follow up to previous cases, discussion and possible action. John, do you have anything to report? You're muted.
I do not.
Okay. You do not have anything to report on Van Ness?
Nothing.
Specifically?
If you're going to ask, I can certainly give an update. So they're about to pull permits on the Van Ness project, which we approved last year, which was preserving the 2 houses and building 4 units in the rear. So they're reaching the point where that construction will start on that, which is a good thing.
Okay. And my update is a sort of, I don't quite know what happened, but we voted, feels like 2 months ago, and I think it was 2 months ago. And I guess I could start my video while I'm sharing this. We voted to oppose the major increases in planning department related fees, which would have included a fee for, well, tripling the fees for historic preservation and then appeals of any kind of cases. There was a proposal to move it up from $89 to $16,097. The City Council's Planning and Land Use Management Committee, PLUM, attempted several times to hold a meeting where that could be discussed, but they had to disband at least 2 meetings for technical issues where people actually couldn't call in. So they rescheduled it for this past Tuesday and apparently succeeded in holding the meeting and may have, it looks like, I don't see a copy of the motion, it looks like the Plum did reject the city CAO's recommendation to majorly increase the fees and instead adopt the planning department's recommendations as to keeping the fees for things like appeals and preservation reasonable and not necessarily low, but reasonable. So I will have a better report a month from now when I can actually figure out exactly what happened. Okay. Moving on to secretary's report, which would be item 8. And Gabby, if you'll take on that, wherever you are.
Sure, I can share my screen.
Well, in a sec. I have this feeling you can do it without me making you a co-host because
I could actually. I'm not sure why.
I don't know why either. While you do that, oh, I see why. I'm unclicking something. The security settings have changed, but I just changed them again. Okay.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, because I made you a co-host.
Oh, okay. Great. So, hello everyone. We have today one set of minutes, unfortunately, because it's a little snafu with the rest. For August 6, 2020. These were provided in the agenda folder, but I'm not sure if any of you had an opportunity to review, so I will just quickly go through them. I listed the members present for the meeting, members absent for the meeting. Are you able to see the Zoom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So these were the members. So please, if you see a mistake, let me know now.
Well, I see a mistake in Lizzie's spelling. She has 1 Z, not 2.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I always do that. Sorry, Lizzie. And I will scroll down. Please let me know if you see anything that seems to not be correct. All items were listed as unanimously approved if there were no votes. Ineligible and abstain under Robert's Rules of Order can be listed and do not affect the unanimous consent.
And obviously it's been so long. I don't remember, but I will say, Gabby, we'll have to check one thing because when we add up the people present and the people absent, it comes out to one more person than there ought to be. So somebody must have resigned by then because we have 24 people listed.
Sure. Okay.
And there should only, it has to only be 23. So not sure, okay. You know why, Gabby? We have you put you twice.
Oh, I see. You're right. You're right.
Okay. So there we go. Good. So luckily we don't have to search for who was not on the board.
Yeah, I wanted to know who arrived late to the meeting, although I don't think that that's pertinent to the actual minutes.
Right. So does anybody have, besides my running commentary that I just did, does anybody even remember any of this to have comments? And no, I don't remember who Chase was. John, do you remember who Chase was?
I don't.
I know, it's like, oh, so this was the
Planet Fitness conversation.
Fitness. I might be able to. Okay, I'm not going to go search email for that. But
yeah, I can't find it.
I probably have his name.
Also, just wanted to confirm the Rhymes Performing Arts Center, is that the Debbie Allen dance? Okay, building. Okay.
Yes, it is. As it's going up, it is Dada, Debbie Allen Dance Academy, but it's the Chandra Rhymes.
Shonda.
Yes. Can't pronounce it, but it is. I think she was one of the primary benefactors.
Oh, benefactors. Got it. Thank you.
We're gonna switch out Helsley for.
Okay, up, whoever's talking into their mic, don't do that. So for board members that when I had said to you guys to unmute yourselves, you can mute yourselves again for a minute, please. Okay. So it's actually kind of interesting to look at all of these appointments we made months later. So we should go back and review how many people actually have been attending all of these alliances, but that's not really the purpose of approving minutes. Okay. So as we're reading along, again, if anyone has any comments, corrections, thoughts, because these minutes look really thorough. I just have no personal memory. Okay, so is everybody reading along? I hope. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I'm chit-chatting with myself here.
Well, you told us to
Yes,
mute
but
ourselves.
we're
Come on.
muted.
That is
Yeah,
also
we're
true. I
muted, so
agree.
we
Yeah.
can't.
We're trying to focus on what we're
Can't have-
reading.
Okay.
Page 8's coming up. Gabby, for 14B, just put a return where C is at.
14B, you would like to
Yes,
put
you
what?
see the B, and then you go over, then you have another item C underneath, right on the same
Oh,
line.
yeah. Do you want it like that?
Yep.
Yes.
There was no report for either of them.
Okay. Okay.
So that's, I'll note
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Okay, go right back in. I make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented with the corrections made.
Second. I'm sorry. Greg moves to approve the August 6, 2020 minutes, seconded by who?
Q.
Q. Okay. All right. To my horror, I noticed, well, what a surprise. Adjourned at 11:30 p.m.
Yes, let's not.
August 6, 2020. Wait, Laura's birthday. Just wait for it. It was my birthday. So I had as much fun as the rest of you. Okay. Do we do, I don't
Just
even
do
remember. Do
vote,
we
just hand, by hand.
We don't have
No,
to
no.
do a BAC?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so if you're in favor of approving, just either raise your blue hand, raise your real hand if you're a co-host, or raise your reactions. Hit reactions. Okay.
Raise my hand.
Oh, wait. But the only people who get to vote were the ones who were present at that meeting. So we're just not gonna worry about that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. John, were you present at that meeting?
I have had impeccable attendance since COVID started.
You are the man, brother. Okay, yeah, it passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. So unfortunately, we had a flash drive glitch. So sadly, some of the work Gabby did got lost. So she's gonna do it again.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh darn.
Gabby, I feel
Hey,
so
because I
bad for
have
you.
the transcriptions already, so I don't need to do too
I
much.
feel so bad for you.
That's
off.
That sucks.
Okay. All right. I know, it's like, oh my God. All right, moving on. We're not too bad. We're only 8 minutes late. You guys, we're actually doing pretty darn good here. Executive
Okay, I'm
committee.
ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Executive committee funding requests. Greg, do you want to explain the first three before we even do anything?
Do I want to what?
Well,
I want to give an overview.
Yeah, the first three funding requests.
I want to do those.
Hang on. A, B, and C. Did you want to explain what we're doing? And then I want to explain.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to explain to everyone that when we get to C, or before we get to C, Laura, must leave the room. I am recused. Okay, Greg.
Okay, so for items A, B, and C on the agenda, this is an
Mr. B, hold up, Mr. Jackson, I apologize. Ms. Myers, you said you're recusing?
For item C, we're not there yet.
Okay, so you'll be able to turn off and mute yourself, right?
I am literally leaving the room besides muting
Thank you.
myself.
Just wanted to confirm that part. I was just
I am
sorry about that.
no, we got it all arranged, and someone will need to telephone me, and I will take advantage of that absence to get something to eat.
Fantastic.
Scout's honor. She will.
No, I
step
really
away.
will. I mean, yes. What I can't do is go into a waiting room because it would end the meeting. Unfortunately, because I'm the Zoom host.
Okay, so the three items that we're looking at is an administrative change because we have already approved these items. However, because of the requirements for submission, we have to change them from a community improvement project to a neighborhood improvement item. So we're just changing the format, changing the paper that we put it on. We're not changing the dollar amount. We're just, it's a procedural item, okay? So the three items, I'll do a brief over, well, I guess I'll do one at a time so that Laura doesn't hear the first
Yeah,
one.
please.
So-
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Okay,
Please
so-
allow me to recuse.
Okay, so item number one is for the KYCC, where we had approved $6,996 for them. Okay, so but now, instead of the community improvement project, it will now be a neighborhood purpose grant. It's just a funding procedural item. So the motion is that we
Ooh.
approve.
Wait, I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna put this one in the chat. Go ahead, but I'm gonna get what I put in the email earlier today, Greg, into the chat.
That's fine, that's fine. So for item A, the the motion will be that we approve the administrative adjustment of changing the community improvement project that we have already approved to fund the 25 maintenance and watering of 25 trees. We change it from a community improvement project to a neighborhood purpose grant. And again, it's just an administrative issue because we have to submit the neighborhood purpose grant. We have to submit the right paperwork. Are there any questions? None?
Okay, so let me,
Chris has her hand up.
Yes. Okay, go ahead. Chris. Yes, Chris. Where's my friend Chris?
so while we're waiting for her, I'm throwing
I think
this
she's
motion.
gone. I think she's still there.
All right, I am throwing into the chat the exact technical language for this KYCC grant proposal, and this would be the motion to approve the neighborhood purpose grant to KYCC for a total of $6,996. And the funds would be sourced from the encumbered set aside funds identified, not identified below, sorry, identified below-ish. Encumbered set aside funds from fiscal year 2019-2020 for $3,996 and the fiscal year 2020-2021 for the remaining balance of $3,000 for a total of $6,996. So in other words, we need to identify in this motion the portion of the funds that were encumbered separately from the portion that we voted on to add to it in February. So it's 2 different years' monies. So this was what was discussed with the clerk. So can everyone see the chat and see what we're doing here?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna move by Laura. And then just so we're all perfectly good, Gibson, am I supposed to display the NPG form or not? Does it matter? Because we're trying to just.
Was it part of the supporting documents, and is it easily accessible to on the website?
It's absolutely easily accessible on the website in the not the website, in the Google Drive.
I would just as a courtesy, just kind of put it on the screen so folks can know what it is.
Okay.
With the power of shared screens, even though it's sometimes a nuisance, I think it just
No,
works in our favor.
I'm good. I can do this.
I appreciate it.
I have to look for it. Sorry. Here we are. And I'm going. And this is the key thing here. So we have a KYCC is Koreatown Youth and Community Center. This neighborhood purpose grant is for a tree watering and maintenance project covering 25 young trees on UNNC's commercial corridors. So our portion is the $6,996, but there's some other funds coming from other places to essentially maintain, put stakes, put mulch, weed, 25 young trees on our commercial corridors. Again, we have voted approval on this project already. And so here's why is this a public purpose? Our community is one of the least green and most densely populated urban neighborhoods in the US. The goal is to help residents and businesses beautify their neighborhoods, increase open spaces for family, and grow tree-lined streets. That's KYCC's purpose and goal. This particular project serves the public interest of adding to UNNC's urban forest. And they are a 501c3. I don't think I need to post that, do I? Yeah,
No, we're just showing the NPG what's it about.
Yeah.
The process when it comes to 501c3 is on the city
Wait.
backend.
Right. Okay. So there we have it. Any questions? Can I unshare this screen? I can't see if any hands are raised. That's the
I think you're
problem.
good to go. You've showcased and then folks at least have a good idea where it's at. And
Okay.
if they need help, if they need access, they can access it on the website.
Yes, and just click on the link in the agenda.
Perfect.
Okay. Did we have a second?
Second.
And do we have any further discussion or any discussion?
Call for the vote.
Okay. Greg, I'll call the roll. You'll do the BAC, right? And you can copy the motion out of the chat because this motion's the most technical one of the evening. Okay, board members, please unmute. And ready? Jasmine.
Ineligible.
Dorit is absent. Hunter is gone. John?
Yes.
Gabby?
Yes.
Tori?
I mean, a lot
Yes.
of times we're
I'm sorry, what was that other voice? I don't know. Tori was a yes. Paul?
Yes.
Carlos still absent. Laura's a yes. Hugo?
Yes.
Paula's absent. Raheem?
Yep.
Do we have 2 votes there for Raheem? Okay. Isaac is absent. Marielle?
Yes.
Hugh?
Yes.
Cordell?
Yes.
Michael? Is Michael still here?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Chris, I think.
Yes.
No, your funding expired on April 3rd,
Okay.
unless you took it, that I don't know.
No, I have not taken it this week. Nope, haven't done it.
Greg? Greg, yes?
Yes.
Nancy? Nancy? Absent for the vote. Janie's absent. Lizzie?
Yes.
Okay. It does occur to me, guys. Greg, will you be able, when I walk out, will you be able to call the roll and do the BAC and do everything all at the same time?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, walk and chew gum at the same time.
Been doing it. Yes, Laura can.
Okay, good, because I cannot help you on that. All right. Next one is the Jefferson Boulevard Greenbelt project.
Okay, so I will try to do the short version again. With this, it is the same thing. We approved it as a community improvement project, and we just need to approve it as a neighborhood improvement grant. Okay. So since we are sharing the screen now on that, I will share my screen for that. Okay. Okay, so it's basically the same thing as we wrote before. They will plant and care for the 25 trees. It's the purpose of this to increase the presence of trees and in the UNNC footprint. Then we have the money that they're requesting from us. We have the money that California Greenworks will provide and the money that The Lonnie grant was providing, so that's the NPG for that item. Okay. So the motion is that we approve the NPG to fund the Jefferson Greenbelt as we have for the community improvement grant. And the sum was 6,000. Let me see. The sum was $6,900.
Okay, so I'm putting it in the chat, but I spelled California wrong, so that's too embarrassing.
Okay.
Okay, here we
Okay,
go.
and also
Greg,
I'm
is
just
that
taking
Greg,
it-
is that your motion?
That will be my motion.
Is there a see? This is a simple motion. Is there a second?
You seconded.
Second, Lizzie.
Let's let Lizzie do it.
Second, Lizzie. Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion, comments? Fine. Calling the roll. Calling the question and now calling the roll. Jasmine.
Ineligible.
Dorit is absent. Hunter is removed. John.
Yes.
Gabby. Tori.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Carlos is absent. Laura's a yes. Hugo.
Yes.
Paula's absent. Raheem.
Yep.
Isaac is absent. Marielle.
Yes.
Hugh.
Yes.
Cordell.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Chris.
Ineligible.
Thank you. Greg.
Yes.
Nancy. Isn't here. Okay, absent. Janie is absent. Lizzie.
Yes.
So that's 13 in favor. I'm going to now turn off my video, mute myself. Wait, before I mute myself, who will be calling me? John, Greg?
I'll text you.
John will text me.
Okay. All right. You have stepped away. Okay, so for this last one, we are looking at the funding that we approved for the cameras. This was funding for the Recreation Park Department, for Ben H. Carter Park, Annex to Door House and South Seas House Complex. We approved this as a community improvement project, and now we are changing it to a neighborhood purpose grant. And so since we're doing that, just reminder that we approved $5,865 for this project. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. Being none, let me see. Being none, make a motion that we approve this change for this NPG. I need a second.
Second.
Chris.
Okay, that's Chris. Okay. Okay, so Jasmine, you are ineligible. Dorit is absent. Hunter is ineligible. John?
Yes.
Gabby?
Yes.
Tori?
Yes.
Carlos is absent. Laura is ineligible. Hugo,
Yes.
Paula is absent. Raheem,
Yep.
Isaac is absent. Marielle,
Yes.
Hugh,
No.
no, okay. Cordell,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris, you are ineligible. Greg, yes. Nancy? Nancy is absent. Janie is absent. Lizzie?
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 that passed also. Okay, thank you, everyone. Someone call Laura so we can continue.
Just texted her.
Okay. Okay, what's next on the agenda? Dynasty is up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm here. Do I have access to be able to share my screen?
Capability.
Awesome. Thank you.
Boy, she must be the wrong way. Or are we just sharing what you have sent to us? Are you sharing anything else besides that?
I just knew that my name was on for a presentation, so I had a PowerPoint with the same funding request.
Okay.
Was I supposed to do that?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. We could just do the funding request as was submitted, but some people do PowerPoints as you're saying also. So
Okay, awesome.
Okay, I'm back, but Greg, you're running it anyway, right?
I could continue.
Please do.
Okay. All right, so let me pull up Destiny's file. Okay. All right, which form we want to show here? I don't want to show that. Right, sure. Okay, I closed those windows. Let me open this back up. I get back on that window, so stand by. Michelle, why don't you go ahead and start talking, and then we'll just pull up your items in a second.
Okay.
Laura, she has a PowerPoint she'd like to share with us. Can you let her share?
Oh, you mean Dynasty does? That's
Yes.
fine. That is fine. Here we go.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right thing. 1 second. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So First and foremost, my name is Dynasty Taylor. I am a founder of Dynasties United Youth Association. I'm very familiar with the United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council. Laura, it's good to see that you're now, I think, the president or the president of the board.
Oh, I am present, but it was really an accident.
Well, awesome. It's good to see you guys again. It's been a while. Glad to see that everybody's made it through COVID. I just wanted to kind of tell everybody a little bit about DUYA and what's been happening and possibly be able to tell you guys about my request. So for some people who are new to DUYA, Dynasties United Youth Association is also called DUYA. So we are a 501c3 community-based nonprofit, and we operate all throughout Greater Los Angeles, but predominantly in South LA. We provide free educational and career services to students for the past 7 years. Our anniversary, we're happy to still be in business during this time. We provide free tutoring, homework assistance, job readiness support, college and career assistance, and mental health counseling. So we've been operating since February 2014, and we've been tax exempt since August of 2016. And so with that being said, prior to COVID, we were operating at 5 Los Angeles public libraries. One of the locations that was centered in your community was the Washington Irving Los Angeles Public Library and the Jefferson Branch Library. So in the past, I think 2 years in a row, the United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council has been graciously providing us funding for the past 2 years prior to COVID. Due to COVID, we're currently online. We've been operating that way since March 18, 2020, ever since school closures. We're currently still in that state and position at this point in time until we find out further information about our summer camp program. And so why we're here today is to talk about some of the support that we would need to continue the services that we're providing in the community. And how we're going to do that is that we are basically outreaching to other communities and organizations for support. As you guys know, this is a very trying time for a lot of nonprofit organizations, especially Black-owned small organizations. So I'm here just to tell you a little bit about what I do. So this is the current problem that we're trying to solve in our community. So where I come from, which is the Los Angeles, I would say I grew up in, I don't know if you guys are familiar with an area called the Jungles. I grew up and born and raised there. So I went to Dorsey High School. I went to Audubon Middle School, Coliseum Elementary, USC. So I'm really from this community. And one thing I noticed was like this need for quality after school programs for low income communities and low income services. There has been like this high demand and need for tutoring support for all ages, but predominantly we work with ages 5 to 18. So there we have, during this time of COVID, we have doubled the amount of students we have served. We have a lot of kids coming from LAUSD who are needing support, but then we also have this high need of special needs students that have ADHD or ADD or speech, they have speech delays, et cetera. Or dyslexic that needs this type of support. So we're just trying to basically provide more program assistance to be able to accommodate this need that is currently happening in our community, which is at a high demand. A lot of our students have lost a lot of access to their supplemental support due to COVID. And this was happening way before COVID, but it just basically became higher demand since schools were closed during this time. And a lot of students needed a lot of additional support to be able to accommodate different types of learners. So that is what the problem that we noticed in the community that we're trying to solve. And then, so our request is asking up to $4,000. So whatever you guys are able to provide, we're very gracious and thankful for that. So DUYA is requesting up to $4,000 to provide stipends for academic tutors who will be conducting individual and group tutoring, mentoring workshops, and job readiness and career free of service in the Greater Los Angeles community for ages 5 to 18. So we've been providing summer camp for the past 3 years. We've partnered with the West Side Neighborhood Council and Vineyard Recreation Center to be able to provide these services. And so we're trying to open it up to a larger demographic because we're going to be virtually and online, which allows us to serve more kids. And so we're looking forward to serving about 300 students this summer. In the past, the most we served is about 150. But because of the new district that we're serving, we have opened it up a little bit more. So we're going to be open Monday through Friday, 14th to August 13th. So it's going to be 9 weeks. So in terms of program assistance and what the interns will be doing, so we're trying to hire 2 high school students so that they can have a job opportunity and give back to the community, and 2 undergraduate students as well. So these students will be working 12 to 15 hours per week. They'll be able to conduct our workshops with our students individually in small groups. They'll be reviewing, assisting with recent and current homework assignments. They'll also be we use the STAR Bridge exam, so they have to take like this assessment prior to them enrolling in a tutoring program and at the end, so we can be able to see if there's progress in between this 9-week program. So they'll also help us administer the exam, employing study aids, ask students about specific struggling topics, be able to track students' progress, and also communicate with parents on a weekly basis with our progress reports. So a part of the internship experience for the interns who are providing the service for the students, because it seems like we're asking for program assistance, but it's also providing employment opportunities for youth at the same time who are providing that service to the students. And so they'll get 80 to 100 hours of direct instruction, 10 hours of professional development, because we have staff meetings where we have to train the tutors constantly to make sure that they're providing effective services to our youth. And then they'll also have an 8-hour orientation prior to onboarding into the internship to provide the services. And so this is kind of like a budget. I could not fit this on the MPG document that was asked. So I kind of like put it in my PowerPoint to kind of break it down. So for the grant that we're providing, the program is supposed to be 9 weeks. So we're still looking for funding in other areas to supplement the full 9-week program. So with that being said, if we were to hire 4 academic tutors, like I stated before, 2 high school July. And so for a high school student, they'll end 4 weeks with a $1,000 stipend, and 1,000 times 2 interns is $2,000. And then for an undergraduate student, I think let me move this over, they'll be ending with the $1,400 stipend at the end of the month, which 1,400 times 2 interns will be 2,800, which brings me to a total of 4,800, and we're only requesting up to 4,000 based on what budget you guys are able to offer. I put the breakdown here at the bottom if anybody would like to see, and the color coordination is based on the green just shows the total at the bottom, and then the different colors just represents one individual person. So you guys can be able to see the chart. It was really hard trying to get this information, but I know that a lot of us are visual or auditory. So I tried my best to break it down from week to week, from person to person. Let me know when it's okay to change the slide.
I see a hand up, but is that hand to say it's okay to change it? I've read it.
Okay, awesome. I'll change this.
I don't know what the hand was up for.
Okay.
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 Well, I have a couple hands going up and down. So how much longer, Dynasty? Because
I have about one more slide and then I'm done.
Because I'm just doing another time check.
Okay, I just want to make sure you guys had it, that's all.
All right.
All right, so the next slide is the last one. Why should your council be involved in this project? Basically to help serve more children and families in our communities during these times, be able to create employment opportunities for youth during these times as well, to help strengthen the resources in the community and bridge with other organizations to provide these services, and then prevent students from being held behind and being held behind grade level. And so that is my presentation. I will stop sharing and I will open up for questions.
Right. So we have a couple of hands up. For everybody, in terms of time check, we're not so horrible, but we're edging close to losing. We have 14 people here for quorum. So I'm going to suggest that we not talk a really long time because we have so many other items to get to before we might lose quorum. But that said, Marielle had her hand up first, then Chris.
I'd like to move that we fund Dunya to the full $4,000.
Yeah, Marielle, the issue being we don't have $4,000 unless we do. So our normal procedure, there's no standing rule or bylaw that says we must do it this way, is that the particular committee makes a motion, and the executive committee had moved $1,000 that had to do with what we actually have, but Greg can comment further.
That's
Greg.
I can.
And then I'm sorry, I know Chris had her hand up, but maybe we should have some clarification on what money do we have.
I do want to say that they've been a part of the community and for several years, and they've been, I think, a real asset. And it seems like a shame that we can only fund them for $1,000. So it's my 2 cents.
Yeah, but that and the extra dime, you know, I mean, when we come to the end of the money, we come to the end. Greg.
Well, the issue is, well, I agree with Mary that this is a really, really great program, and
Right.
we want to fund it to the best of our ability.
Right.
When we do the budget, well, for the purpose of this discussion, we could say that we can approve it up to, and based on any budget adjustments that we see, because that will come on in further conversations. Because we need to hear from the communication committee. I need to share with you the information from a few other departments also. And then the board needs to decide where they want to move the money to. And this may be the project that we want to move the money to, but we have a few other requests also.
Right.
So my recommendation is that we say approve it up to $4,000, but just knowing that what we actually do will be based upon what money, the amount of money we still have in our wallet once we come to the end of all budget conversations. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
It's reasonable? Yeah.
I also have a question for Dynasty. The program starts in June, but continues. So our fiscal year is, you know, ends June 30th and begins again July 1. So the other potentially feasible thing, pending us even being told what our budget is for next year, is to also give some in mid-July. But I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that would help you at all.
I think that, to be honest, the program is 9 weeks, right? And so we are seeking funding in other areas. So we have to wait until you guys get the new budget for you guys to send it. We can do that too. If you want to send half and half, we're open to it. But we're still seeking as we come along. So whatever works best for the board, I'm flexible with that.
Right, and noting we'll have newly elected board members. So I'm just saying they may think that, you know, they get to, well, they might not get to vote because they might not have taken their funding training. But anyway, so I hear what Greg is saying. I'm not disagreeing with what Greg is saying. What I'm actually trying to ascertain is it at all useful, if it has to be because we're out of money, for you to come back in July to ask for some more, or would you have to have already cut back on the program because it starts in June? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I would say it would in a sense, because we have to provide the stipends at a certain time, which is the first 4 weeks. And then when we vote, it's like later on in July, it could be a potential problem, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Chris's hand's still up.
My question has changed a bit. I'm concerned that we're entertaining budget allocations before we have a very clear idea of what our budget status is.
Okay, Chris, we have a very clear idea based on everything we have voted for that we move very close to zero. We will need some updates from Greg, and we could vote after the updates from Greg, obviously. We need some updates from Greg on the status of some of the other things we voted for.
That would be very useful because I think it gives clarity both to board members and to the applicant.
Right. So what we have done in the past at this last ability to vote for money meeting in prior years, not last year, but other prior years, is we've heard then from the other budget seeker, then we've heard about the budget, and then we vote. So is that well, Dynasty, you're shaking your head yes, but you don't get to vote. So Greg, would that work for you where we hear next, sorry, from the next one, and then we hear from you,
Yeah,
and
you
then we
froze.
vote?
I'm just flexible for whatever will work, you
Okay.
know, either way. I mean, I could have done
Yeah,
the
well, I
presentation
just want, I
first.
don't want to spend a lot of time discussing how we're going to discuss it, because again, you guys,
Yeah.
we all want to be efficient in terms of our getting it to the end of the meeting.
Okay.
So is there any other commentary on this budget funding request? And if not, let's move to the next funding request, which comes, it's a combination, you know, basically it's a election outreach endeavor, you know, we're an effort to help us, you know, this would be number E. Where are we? Something E. Darn, sorry, you guys.
Yeah, it would be E.
Yeah. 9E.
E9E, yes.
9E, the next funding request is to essentially add more money to our election outreach efforts for a specific effort to be held in Arlington Heights and with the Arlington Heights Neighborhood Association, which would help stakeholders apply for ballots, along with having a shredded event. I mean, you know, just getting people out. But what we've talked to the elections clerk, and we are allowed to help people fill out their applications for ballots, not the ballots themselves, applications, and we can even email them in. We can help people apply for ballots. So this is a combination of Lizzie and Helena and Rahim, I think, presenting. So where do we start? Maybe with Lizzie to say what your conversation with Robert Tino was. I know it was good, but if Lizzie's here. Maybe.
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the
Yeah, I mean, in other words, Robert, you talked to Robert Tino, he's happy that we want to do.
Yes, he was amenable to support this effort. And so, Helena, I know that you wanted to. I just very recently became admin for the UNNC Facebook page. So I'm sorry I was not able to send you outreach materials, the social assets, but I will. So other than that, what we have with us are many copies of the ballot requests, both in English and Spanish. I plan to be there that day to help folks fill out the requests. Hopefully other members of the board will also help us that day. It's May the 15th, correct?
Correct.
Yes. I have some outreach materials that we can also hand to the neighbors there. Unfortunately, we don't have swag, so nothing really to give away. Unfortunately, no pens, or I don't know where they are.
We have pins.
We do have pens. Okay, then we'll get those.
Oh, that would be funny then, because assuming we have funds, DS, it would be fun to be able to help a person fill out their ballot requests and let them keep their pen, so we have no COVID transfers anyway. It'd be a good way to say, here's a sanitized pen, please fill it out, keep it. So who is it, Rahim or Helena, who's gonna present the Arlington Heights piece?
I can do it. If you guys can just share the screen, that'd be great.
Okay.
Or share the funding request.
Yeah, you know what? I have to just start talking, because I realize I
Yeah.
have to go. I posted it, but I don't seem to have it downloaded. So let me go get it.
Yeah. So the basic idea here is the Arlington Heights Neighborhood Association. We were trying to figure out a way to engage with our neighbors. So we came up with an idea to have a shredded event. Basically, we're hiring we're contracting a shredding company to come out and set up in the parking lot of the market here, Superior Market here on Washington and 10th Avenue. And so we're going to set up a shredding, to have shredders so neighbors can come by and dump any paper items that they need shredded, sensitive or not. We've also contracted with a vendor to provide some free lunch for probably the first 50 or so people that come by the event. And then in the course of this planning, we realized the timing lined up pretty nicely with the deadline to request a ballot in the UNNC elections. And so we decided to add that arm of our event to the whole thing. So people will be able to come, get some stuff shredded, have a free taco, and also fill out a ballot request for the upcoming election. And that's the gist of it.
And I did share the screen. Can everyone see it? Or can anyone see it?
On the 15th, the total budget I think is somewhere near like $2,000. So we're requesting half of that from UNNC.
Right.
The event's going to be from 12 to 4. That's
Okay.
it.
So here's my question. Can everyone see this shared screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
The total budget is $2,200.
Right.
We're requesting up to $1,000 from neighborhood council.
Right. So we would pay for shred time and Facebook ads. So my only question, and then I know people might have other questions. $250. What's the print ads? Because I know the Facebook would be hard to reach $250.
Yeah, we also want to create some print ads to put up around the neighborhood at local businesses.
So posters.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Rahim, what are the giveaways that Anna is providing?
Helena, did we ever land on what that was going to be? Did Mike?
We really wanted to focus the giveaways around the UNNC election. So we have 2 pop-up tents planned, one for the UNNC and one for Arlington Heights Neighborhood Association. And we really wanted to gear, the whole purpose of going to the UNNC for this additional funding is so that we can help with the 2 seats that are open or being contested for Arlington Heights. So
right.
Bring attention to the fact that there are seats, that there is actually an active and contested race, and just kind of bring neighbors together. So we don't do a lot of swag. We don't have printed stuff. We really just want to focus on helping get the word out about the association as well as getting the word out about the UNNC.
Okay, because I was thinking at some point we have a few $100s, not in between 200 and 300. We were thinking about getting a banner created for election day and to be located at the drop box location. However, because the library is not open yet, and it will not be open until probably June or July, we just feel that it might not be safe. It might get stolen and vandalized. So I was thinking maybe we could try to get something quick with UNNC, with the UNNC logo, because truthfully, anything, any little thing, any giveaway is always welcome by our neighbors.
Can I just ask everybody, do I need to keep the screen up?
You can take it down.
Thanks.
Yeah, and Lizzie, Greg just mentioned that he does have some pens. So I mean, that's.
We have pins, and we have those bags, those orange bags that I
Yes,
showed you the other day.
but those are, we have very, very few. I would rather keep them for something else because
we have a
those
few
are
more boxes.
very, I'm sorry?
We have a few more boxes of them. I didn't give you all of them. We have a few more boxes of them.
Oh,
What's
okay,
there?
okay.
You're talking about the skinny,
Well,
I'm sorry, Greg, are these the lightweight orange, bright orange bags, not the big heavy
No,
duty?
these are the ones that you would go to the grocery
Oh,
store.
wow.
You would go to the grocery store. Yeah, they're really nice.
Wow.
Yeah, they're nice bags.
Where were they? Because they were not in the closet.
They were in the closet.
Yes, they were in the closet. It was like a bag. They should have been a box and a half. Or
Yep.
Wow, okay.
Yep. We
Right.
have about a few more boxes
Okay,
of those.
Rosie's got her hand up and Chris has her hand up, and I want to bring the focus back to this would be a combination election outreach endeavor. I mean, I'm using the word effort or endeavor, but if Gibson is still here, he could help us on this, only because we don't have 60 days to have a quote event, 60 days advance notice. So, but we can, and the clerk is encouraging us to do an election outreach final push, for lack of a better phrase. So I want to see if we're going to be allowed to do this. And I can't tell if Gibson's still here.
Yeah, I thought we settled that we would.
Well,
set
I
it-
thought we had two, and he is not here, so we'll
Yeah.
just move on. Chris, then Rosie.
It's, okay, it seems to me we've already voted in our budget for election outreach, so there's a certain amount of money that's there and has either been used up or there's something remaining that can go to this event. If we are as short on our funding as was implied earlier, it seems we might want to look to, I mean, I look at that budget and I go, we're spending $1,000 on lunch when it's fundamentally a shredding event. I'm not sure why lunch is necessary. I mean, shredding is something a lot of people have value. That's a value given. And if it's a choice of, we're going to educate kids or feed people a lunch in a parking lot, I would much more rather educate kids and give tutoring support. So, but I don't understand what our money situation is. So it seems a little cart before the horse to be able to evaluate things.
Right.
Yeah, and that's fair, Chris. And to be clear, the neighborhood association is paying for the tacos, and UNNC will be paying for the actual shredding. And I think that we've all been in scenarios like this before, where we feel like we have something that's going to bring people out, but it doesn't always work. But what does work every single time to get people out is food. And so, you know, I agree with you, free shredding does seem like something that would bring people out in droves. But in case that's not enough, I think free tacos will maybe push people over the hump to get them out of their house. And that's
Right.
our hope, because we really want to bring people out in droves to this event for a lot of different reasons.
Right.
But understand your reservations too.
Right. But, and also, Chris, I'm jumping in. The thing is that Arlington Heights, Angeles Vista, and Harvard Heights, so the highly populated neighborhoods north of the freeway, we have contested elections. So getting people out to apply for ballots and then voting is actually kind of important. I'm not saying it's as important as educating kids. I'm just saying.
I just don't know how much additional money it needs from us to achieve that goal.
Understood. Rosie.
Oh, okay. Mine was kind of like a couple of things. This 20, can you hear me?
You're breaking up, I think.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
2020, there was no events in which anything really was given to anyone for, you know, this is UNNC. What is UNNC? And I know we should have some what is UNNC flyers. The second one is usually food brings people out, like he said. And when we have the elections, we always have food for our elections on the actual day. And, you know, just so we can look at our budgets and see, so Dynasty can get some money and this program can also get some money. Thank you.
Okay, Mario.
Um, just the counterpoint to Rosie's statement is that I think Dynasty applying for a grant is the whole purpose of the UNNC. And so in order to support what our purpose is, which is to give grants that benefit our community on an ongoing basis, it's successful, right? Like our outreach has been successful at some point, and we have to look at the goal, not just to have a singular event to bring people out, but what we do all year round and how that affects our community. So just how we spend our dollars in that way.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. I see no other raised hands. What I'd like to do is move on again, as we sort of discussed, move on to this number F, the budget adjustments, which is really where the meat of this is what money do we have and what money do we not have? Because again, for FYI for everyone, by last month, we had pretty much allocated all of our dollars, but there may be some programs that we allocated money to that haven't been able to spend. So Gray.
Okay, so I will try to make this the quick version of this, okay, of this presentation, okay. What we need to look at is these sheets here, the budget. Two things. One, we need to look at the budget adjustments that we need to submit. And then we need to focus our attention on what monies we have earmarked that haven't been spent or may not be spent, or we can adjust. So so I'm not going to go over everything again, but just a quick highlight. This approved is what we originally had in the budget. All right. This column here is what we've adjusted, or what we're proposing, I should say, proposing to move from that line. And this line, this adjusted credit, is what we need to submit. It'll be on a spreadsheet, but what we need to submit for our new budget adjustment. Okay, so 500 from training and board retreat to 500 for facilities and space rental, which we have already approved this, but I still need to submit the entire budget to the city again. The area of discussion to find out if we have any leeway is the money that we set aside for temporary staff. And we were in discussions on this topic up until, well, we put $6,000. So let me go to the next slide. We put $6,000 on the temporary staff for our graphic designer and photographer. So we color-coded this in purple because if we didn't receive the required documents, then this would be money that is still available for us to use. But as of 3:45, Raheem and Gabby chime in on this, we have the required documents, so we can move forward with paying those individuals. And so is that correct, Raheem? Hello?
That's correct. Yep,
Okay,
that's correct.
okay. And then the second question that I want to add to that is that does the communication committee believe that they will use all of the $6,000 for in this year? Do we need to keep all the $6,000 on that, or do we just need to pay a portion of that?
I mean, I think I know that both our graphic designer and photographer are open. Like if it makes more sense to our budget to split this up and pay them half this fiscal year and the other half the next, I mean, I think they'd be amenable to that. Yeah, I know they would be.
Okay. So that's one. So so on this line item, we can say, we will either pay them the whole $6,000 or based upon what Ryan just did for other items, okay? So just keep that in mind. I'll come back and summarize that in a second, okay? The other thing is that in the 200 area, this is what we had originally, but we moved funds out of these lines and we put them towards election. We put them towards the MPGs, which we have spent. We have this $3,000, which we already talked about earlier. The other funds that we have is this $3,000 here for the fire station. We will not receive the required documents for this, so this $3,000 is available for us to use in some other manner. So as we stand right now, and this is rather than just a full presentation of what we are going to do, this is a working document for everyone on the board to give their input. We have $3,000 that we can use. And then we have another $3,000 if we take the temporary funds, the temporary staff funds that we talked about here. And everything else is a wash. So that's the only funds that we have for use. We have $6,000 that we can use to fund other items. So that's one item. The other item is just getting approval of the budget adjustment as we see here. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that? I know it's a lot of numbers.
Yes, you just mentioned you had 3,000 that's going to be available because the budget paperwork
That's
isn't coming in on the fire department. And then there is another 6,000?
No, 3,000. Originally, okay, so let me recap. This, can anyone see this right here? This $3,000 was for the fire station, Friends of the Fire Station, right? We earmarked those funds. We took it from the event expense. We earmarked those funds for this, but we had to wait until they received some IRS documents. That is not going to happen. As of today, that is not going to happen within the window that we have. So we have these $3,000, okay? All right, so then we had also said that we put another $6,000 on this line, but based upon the conversation we just had with the communication committee, we said we can split this so that instead of this $6,000, we will only have $3,000 here. And that will leave us another $3,000 for another project. So that would give us a total of $6,000 for any pending projects such as the Honesty Project or the Outreach Project for election.
So Greg, is the one thing I'm not clear on.
Yes.
For the temporary workers, have they actually already worked the time that we are in fact owing them the full 6,000 as we stand today?
Raheem, again, would you like to respond to that?
So I mean, we're not at the end of that year, no,
Yep.
not by any means. Yeah. But I mean, it's tricky. I mean, they've both have been putting in a lot of hours. We're not on any sort of like hourly rate with them or anything, but they've been going they definitely have been going above and beyond what was initially expected, and I expect them to continue to do so throughout the rest of the year. But no, I mean, our contract was for a year, and no, they have not worked for a year yet.
Okay, so it was a calendar year from the contract, not our fiscal year.
Right. I think it was February,
February,
to
that's
February.
correct, when we
Yeah.
started.
Right.
Thank you
Yeah.
for clarity.
Yep.
Okay. I'm jumping in here. Chris, going forward, please raise your hand and wait to be called on because there are a lot of people with hands raised ahead of you. And I do want a point of clarification from Greg
Yes.
before we go to the hands. So it sounds like if we wanted to, we could actually do Dynasty up to 4,000 if we want to. We could do this last push for elections / shred it with Arlington Heights if we wanted to. We can pay a portion of the funds to our wonderful graphic artist and photographer, and I think they're interchangeably doing some work. And then in July, pay them more. And if we don't end up spending all that money, it can roll over because we are able to roll over up to $10,000, and we certainly could roll over some money. So we're not losing it if we don't spend it. So I don't think we need to go much further into the can we do it and move to the 3 hands that are raised and then quickly go to the do we want to do it, right? Not can we, because it sounds like we can, but do we want to? So Hugh has patiently kept his hand up.
That was what I was going to suggest, and let's do it.
Okay. Fine. Lizzie has her hand up.
I feel like I need to say something on behalf of the elections committee. We have it is a mandate, and it's also an important part of our UNNC, a purpose of the UNNC requirements to do outreach. And as it is, many people still do not know who we are. So, and Rosie, we do have the what is the UNNC flyer. So we will be distributing those as well. As far as food and other outreach materials, giveaways that we can provide for our neighbors, I know for a fact, having been part of 2 election committees in the past, that this is what draws the neighborhood. And especially, we are talking about neighborhoods, a portion of our UNNC population that is not, for them, a taco I mean, for most of us, a taco is just a taco, right? Maybe we can afford to go and spend $50 at a restaurant. For them, this is their treat. It is a real treat. So for the blue collar population of the UNNC, we need to provide them with something, some treat to encourage them, and at the same time, at the event to educate them on who we are and what we can do for them. So I feel very strongly about this. Thank you.
Okay, so what?
Okay, Chris.
And whoever made that comment, please
it's
speak
okay.
up.
It's okay. It's okay. Let it go. Let it go.
Lizzie, I just want to clarify is that my understanding is that the Arlington Heights group is actually they're funding the food. We're being asked to fund the shredding. Is that correct? So I don't think there's any conflict there at all as
My
regards
comment-
to getting both taken care of.
My comment was general.
Okay.
Chris, thank you.
Right. Okay. So I actually have a question for Raheem or anyone else. So in the outreach for this event, are you going to, since at minimum Region 1 is Angeles Vista as well as Arlington Heights, are you going to focus on the entire area? Is there an ability to do that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially through our digital advertising on Facebook, you know, it's
Right.
easy to target our entire footprint, which is what we'll probably do there. And then
Right.
with printed ads, we can be sure to place ads all throughout the entirety of Region 1 and beyond.
Okay. Just because, I mean, the contests are in Region 1, Region 2, and in Region 5, Is that right, Lizzie? Region 5, but Region 5 is very residential, so you don't have windows to put posters in there. But up and down Washington Boulevard or Pico, would be useful. For whatever, it proved very difficult to get posters into business windows, just to be clear. Okay, so again, Arlington Heights Neighborhood Associations, and UNNC's very own elections committee are asking for, both together are asking for $1,000. Dynasty is asking for $4,000 for a neighborhood purpose grant. We would have to vote separately. I have no motions. Again, the executive committee had recommended 1,000, but the agenda item did say 4,000, so we can go up to 4. Yes, Greg?
Madam President, I would recommend that we first vote on the budget adjustments.
Sure.
So that everybody would be clear about that. And I kept the screen shared on because I was changing the amounts for us, but I suggest we approve that first.
Okay.
And then we look at the monies that, then we will have then we will be assured that we have the monies.
Right. I'm just pointing out it's 9:20. So we were doing so good, but now we're not.
Yeah,
I know.
We know how we do.
But we were good.
Okay, so can I make a motion, Madam President?
Yes, sir. And I'm preparing. So it's on.
Okay,
you're saying
so
9F, right?
yeah, I think it's F. It's F.
Yeah, I got it.
So I want to make a motion that we approve the budget adjustments as presented.
And are you going to represent it? Or are we satisfied? There we are.
I think everybody's satisfied.
Okay.
I think everybody's satisfied. Say again?
Okay.
We don't need to represent it. No.
I didn't think so.
I'm good. Is there a second? Greg moves.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay. Who was?
Okay.
I'm gonna let Tori. I'll let Tori because I didn't know who it was. Who was the first second?
Okay. And that would be F, 9F.
9F.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah, I haven't done anything. I'll start.
I'm ready.
Okay, call it.
Jasmine's absent. Jasmine ineligible. Dorita's absent. Hunter's ineligible. John.
Yes.
Gabby.
Is absent.
Okay. John's yes.
Which is why I started giving a warning that we're going to lose quorum.
Yeah. Okay. Tori.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Carlos is absent. Laura.
Yes.
Hugo.
Yes.
Paula's absent. Raheem.
Yep.
Isaac absent. Mariel. Uh-oh.
Yeah, like uh-oh.
Okay, she absent. I guess.
No, she's still here. She's just not responding.
Okay, I'll have to leave it as an absent though.
Absent for the vote. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
Eligible.
ineligible, that's right. My bad. Greg, yes. Nancy is absent.
Right.
Jamie is absent. And then Lizzie is yes. Okay, let me see if that yes got in there. Okay, the motion passed. I'll do the
Okay.
counting later. Okay, so then the next motion, can I keep going?
Yeah, I mean, but I'd suggest Dynasty.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. All right. So that would be G.
So is there, so for the request for, Greg had recommended up to $4,000 for Dynasty's youth, Duya. Is there any further questions or comments, or can we move to a motion?
Motion.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
no further discussion on that.
Okay, so
Okay, so let me go to that one.
wait, what's the motion go?
The motion is that we approve the
Up to
Dynasty tutoring service
$4,000.
up to, well, 4,000. We don't need to say up to, because we have the $4,000.
Okay, so it's for the neighborhood purpose grant.
Right. This is G.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
3 seconds. Tori seconds. Oops, spelled wrong, so sorry. I'll try that again.
What did you do?
Got it. New spelling, always interesting.
T-O-R-I.
My fingers are too wide, apparently. Just saying.
Okay, what did you write in? What did you write in here? Oh, you're just writing that version.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just taking it off the, I'm just taking it straight off the agenda then.
Yes, please do, because this was very shorthand.
Yeah, because.
Sorry. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so
This
this
is
is
9,
G.
yeah, 9D.
Is it D or is it G?
D as in dog.
Okay, all right.
9D as in dog.
Okay, so let me go up. Okay, so that's
It's-
already there.
Dynasty United here, so everyone can see this.
Okay, so here we go. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, Jasmine ineligible, Dorit absent,
Ineligible.
Hunter ineligible, John,
Yes.
Gabby,
Is absent.
okay. Absent. Tori,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Carlos is absent, Laura,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Paula is absent, Raheem,
But
Raheem.
he's alone with his
I
kids.
said, oh, can you hear
There
me
he is.
or no?
Yeah.
I said, yep.
We hear you now, okay.
I said,
Isaac's absent, Mario. Okay, absent. Hugh,
Yes.
Odell,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris ineligible, Greg, yes. Nancy's still absent. Janie absent. Lizzie,
Yes, and thank you, Dynasty, for all you do for our kids.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, thank you. Okay, that one's
Okay,
saved.
so I just want to keep pointing out, we're at 13 people at the
Okay,
moment.
so then the next one would be E.
No one can see.
Thank you guys for everything and always.
Thank you.
supporting
Have a good
me.
evening.
Thank
You
you,
guys have a
Dynasty.
good evening. Good seeing you guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Keep
Good
doing
night.
good work.
Thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart. Have a good night.
All right, take care. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so on this one is request to fund UNC Labor Council election outreach effort that will be held in Arlington Heights with the Arlington Heights Neighborhood Association and help stakeholders apply for ballots. Request $1,000. Requesting, take up to requesting $1,000. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to. Okay,
Oh, wait. Who's the motion? Who's the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Few seconds. Okay. All right.
Ready? Madam President, you ready?
Almost, sorry. I'm just gonna
Okay.
call it election outreach effort in Arlington Heights, just to make this fast. Few seconds. Done.
Okay, Jasmine,
Ineligible.
Dorit, absent, Hunter, ineligible. John,
Yes.
Gabby's absent. Tori,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Carlos is absent.
Laura's yes.
Laura's a yes. I think I put that in the wrong box. Hugo
Rodriguez, that's a yes.
Yes. Paula's absent. Raheem,
Yep.
Isaac is absent. Mario is absent.
No, I'm here.
Oh, yeah, welcome back.
Here.
Okay,
I'm here, but I'm leaving after this. Sorry,
okay,
everyone.
I hear you, I hear you, I hear you, I hear
I
you.
have
That's a yes?
but it is a yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Hughes, yes.
Hugh, okay. Cordell,
Yes.
Michael. Michael,
Oh, no.
Michael absent. Michael's absent.
Sorry, I'm here. I thought it was on. Yes.
Okay, take
Chris.
away the absence. Chris is ineligible. Greg's a yes.
Okay.
Nancy's absent, and Lizzie's
Yes.
yes. Okay, that passed too. All right. Oh,
Okay,
Good.
so we were lucky, we went up to 14, but then we're back down to 13 because Mario has left or is leaving.
okay.
So, in terms of the rest of this agenda, just in case, Tori, I see your hands up.
We need to do the MERS.
I know, that's what I was gonna say. We need to, I know we have CISs and we're gonna try hard to stick through it, but we will get a bad ding if we don't do the MERS. So Greg, can you we're gonna move for a moment to 12A, approval of
Yeah.
monthly expenditure report. And
Yeah.
just get that done.
Yeah, let me, I can't get on the Google Drive anymore, so let me just get it off my computer. So
Thank you. I didn't know it was on the Google Drive.
I'll put it there later this
Okay.
evening. Okay, hold on, let me. Measure.
And we sadly have a guest who's stuck through this, so I hope everyone can stay so we can do the CIS. But let's do the.
Okay, so this is,
12.
okay, sharing screen. 1 second. Boom, boom, close that. Everything's open. Okay. Can you see? Is it too big? It's too small.
Way too small. There you go.
Okay, that's just too small. Okay, this is for March. We should be doing March and April.
We
Okay?
can't do in
But
April. Can we do in April?
We can't do April now because we still have a credit card
Outstanding,
thing
right.
pending. So, but we should, well, anyway, okay. This is March. There's a beginning balance, total amount we spent in March, remaining balance, outstanding balance. These are the different categories of how we spent money for outreach, community improvement projects, neighborhood purpose grants. Then this is the expenditures that we spent, that we use. Hosting, Facebook, we paid a great webpage manager. We did NPG. We paid Ann twice because she don't want to take our money, but we call it and say take the money.
He's hitting
And then this-
3-8.
some talking in the background, mute yourself,
Someone needs to,
mute himself, and then so that's it. So I make a motion that we approve the March monthly expenditure report.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Who said that?
Me, John.
Oh, John. Okay.
Okay,
So let me open.
moved and seconded to approve the monthly expenditure report for March 2021.
Yes.
Item 12A.
I'm 12A. Okay, so. Okay, so Jasmine ineligible.
Ineligible.
Dorit absent. Hunter ineligible. John.
Yes.
Gabby
Gabby's absent. Tori.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Carlos is absent. Laura.
Yes.
Hugo.
Yes.
Paula's absent. Raheem.
Yep.
Isaac is absent. Mario's absent. Mario's.
Paul is absent. He's on.
No, Mario.
Paula. I mean
Mario left.
Paula's absent.
Paula's
Raheem.
absent.
Isaac is absent. Mario is absent. Hugh.
Yes.
Cordell.
Yes.
Michael. Michael.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Thank you, Michael. Chris is ineligible. Greg's a yes. Nancy's absent. Janie's absent. Lizzie is
Yes.
yes. So do we have a quorum for that? Do we have a quorum?
Yeah,
for
we
that?
did. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Definitely just barely. We have 13.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you. That
Okay.
passed. So
So we do have 13 people. We have 2 community impact statements. We have a presenter on both, 2 different. Bob McDuff is the presenter. And it is 9:34. So guys, it's so much earlier than usual. Can we be kind, since he's sat through 2 hours already? And let's process through the community impact statements, because the minute one more person leaves, we have to end the meeting. So that's our issue right now. So let's try and, I'm hoping you all can stay, and I'd like to introduce Bob McDuff. We have a community impact statement section. The first one is a proposed CIS Council File 21-0002-S83. The proposed community impact statement itself is printed on your agenda. We can bring it up, but Bob wanted to share a presentation. And Bob, given that you see that we're losing quorum, I hope you can do a speed presentation. I will make you a co-host. Okay.
5 minutes and I can share my screen.
Yes, you can share your screen, and 5 minutes max.
Which
Sorry
I will
about
do that in just a minute. So hello, everyone. I'm Bob McDuff. I'm a resident of Angeles Vista. And I want to thank the board president and the CIS chairperson for allowing me to talk to you this evening. We're also joined by, as you see on your screen, the name Sean Broadbent from the CalCare campaign. The topic is reform of our healthcare system, and the resolution that is currently before the LA City Council, introduced by Councilman Mike Bonham, that you are hereby asked to approve a CIS in support of. Please hold your questions until the end of my brief presentation. As I discuss the issue, I would like you to think about a time when you or someone you know has had difficulty with their health or a refusal for coverage for a procedure, or unaffordable premiums or out-of-pocket drug costs, or loss of coverage due to an employment situation. I know I once jeopardized my own marriage over my fear of that last one. As you might have seen, there are several pieces of background information and background material that's posted in the Google Drive in support of this CIS. As I'm just going to refer to the one final presentation file in the interest of time, and because it pretty much covers the whole story. While I'm calling that up and sharing my screen, if I can get to the right one. Let's see.
Okay, Bob, while you're
Oh, there
doing
we
that,
go.
did Sean want to introduce himself for a minute here? Oh, never mind, you got it.
Sean's got his picture up there. You can wave to the crowd, Sean. There you go. Oops, I'm sharing the wrong one. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me go back to the right one. Actually practiced this and I thought it was going to be easy. Board screen, I have it open.
That's how it goes, Bob.
Yeah, so much for practice. Try that one.
Is that the right one? Because I could try and find it.
Oh, sorry. No, it's not.
Okay, well, I believe I have it. So
I have it open on my screen. I'm just not quite sure why it's not showing up when I try to share it. It won't let me get it to the right one.
I see.
Bob, you might have multiple options for which screen or which tabs you can highlight. That's often.
Okay, yeah, let me try it this way. Yeah, what are you seeing? Okay. Laura, why don't you go ahead and do it?
Right,
Sorry
but
about that.
which one was it? So yeah, that's a new issue.
Okay, the last presentation file that you uploaded, I think it's the third one in the drive.
Is it the one that's titled UNNC CalCare presentation plus references for board meeting? There's a lot of words, lots of words, no pictures, if that's the one.
No, it's the one that's CalCare AB 1400, Improved Medicare for All for California UNNC Board Reference Material.
Okay, let me look. And it is in the drive, right? Got it.
Yeah.
I have it.
Okay.
I believe I have it. Well, I believe I have it, but say again what it is, which one it is.
The top line says CalCare AB 1400, parentheses, Improved Medicare for All for California, and then it says UNNC Board Reference Material.
Yeah, what I really need to know is what's the name of the file.
Well, I don't want.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
So this 5 minutes is getting really long,
Well,
unfortunately.
I think, can we just look at the resolution? We can forego the
Yeah,
presentation.
I think we're gonna have to, folks. So,
yeah.
Okay.
No, that's okay. I can share the screen on the resolution itself. We're you know, hopefully, Bob, if you don't mind. Because
yeah,
I can't
do you want me to
figure
do?
out which one is the one you wanted to share, but we're gonna run out of quorum. I'm really more at this point.
Okay, I can just talk.
Right. So you need to unshare your screen while you talk. I'm gonna
Okay.
unshare your screen, because what I'm gonna do is post the resolution itself while you talk.
Which is in the minutes.
In the agenda.
I mean, it's in the agenda, sorry.
Yes, that's exactly right. So while you do.
So let me just say a few things about why we're doing this, was asking for your support of the resolution from the City Council. So starting with the status of our current healthcare system, and I do want to recognize that some of you are probably well versed in this topic, while it may be new to others. So I understand that. Feel free to contact me or the CalCare campaign directly in the future if you have any questions, or if you would like to help with the cause and spread the word to put additional pressure on our legislators in Sacramento. That's really important and needed. So starting with the status of our current healthcare system, it is expensive. It does not produce better health outcomes in comparison with other developed countries. It's not socially or racially just, and is driven largely by for-profit hospital corporations, for-profit insurance companies, and for-profit pharmaceutical companies. Specific to Los Angeles and our neighborhoods, we have 24% of our population that's uninsured, and many more that are underinsured, who could be one bad health diagnosis or surprise medical bill away from financial difficulty. Our unemployment is moderate, but still over half, and child obesity is high. So healthcare coverage is definitely an issue for us. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen the fragility of the current system, the disparities in impacts on disadvantaged communities, and the growing profits of insurance companies. Meanwhile, you've probably noted the closing of the Olympia Medical Center near us. The California Guaranteed Healthcare for All Bill AB 1400, introduced by Calderon, Santiago, and Lee for the 2021 and 22 legislative session, would create CalCare. It's a state version of improved Medicare for all as a comprehensive, universal, single-payer system of healthcare coverage. It's largely based on, but improved from, Senate Bill 562, which was by Laura and Atkins and others from 2018, which actually passed the state Senate, but it was stalled in the Assembly. So what is CalCare, and what would this CIS be pushing the LA City Council to support? Unfortunately, I can't show you the slide that lays out the principles that are highlighted by the California Nurses Association, and they're also covered by the bullets in the front pages of the reference material that Laura was looking at. But this is a policy bill. The details are to be discussed, negotiated, hammered out among the legislators, and financing plans still need to be worked out. They have been studied, and they've been shown to be doable and to save money. But here are the key items. It's universal, which means it covers everyone in the state, all residents, period, full stop. Single payer, it's publicly funded. It eliminates administration, bureaucratic waste, and patient and doctor headaches, replacing all private insurance, employer-based plans, covered California Medi-Cal and Medicare policies with one program, one funneling of all the money through a state trust. Fully comprehensive benefits, including medical, dental, hearing, vision, mental health, reproductive health, drugs, long-term care, some others. Freedom to choose your provider. No restrictive doctor or facilities networks. None. Free for service. No copays, premiums, or deductibles. Transition funding and programs for displaced workers. All those administrative people and maybe some CEOs would be out of jobs. Patient care, the treatment is determined by the doctor and the patient, just the doctor and the patient, not by the insurance company. It establishes hospital cost controls. It fairly compensates doctors, which is a current problem with Medi-Cal, if anybody's familiar with that, and lowers per capita spending while lowering future cost increases.
Okay, Bob, I need to say we've got about 15 seconds.
Can I have 30?
Sure,
It's
just
good.
go-
It's
just go and
good for
finish.
It's good for small businesses, employee relations, and international competitiveness, and it eases the burden on municipal resources for healthcare costs, as you'll see in the City Council resolution. And I was going to call up that resolution, but unfortunately, I'm not able to.
Right.
So at this point, I'm done. And I ask for your support for the CIS and open it up to questions if
Right.
anybody has patience for that.
Okay, so so the full proposed CIS from United Neighborhood Council is what I have up on the screen. And essentially what our discussion would be, I'm going to take it off the screen, does UNNC support this effort to have comprehensive, universal, single payer health care coverage? I think Bob and Sean and the others who are advocating spent a lot of time writing this very compact community impact statement so it fits the protocols that we have when we submit them in the city portal. So I cannot see if any raised hands. So Greg, I'm going to ask you to call on.
I think Hugh does.
I just can't see them with.
I'm
with
not on
the
that
screen
screen
up.
either. I'm on the.
I
okay,
believe
can go.
Hugh has his hand up.
Hugh does his hand up.
So then Hugh, go ahead and ask your question or make your comment.
I don't have any question. I'm a nurse. I've been fighting for single payer healthcare in California for over 20 years. Absolutely, this needs to happen.
Okay. Are there any other hands up? Because literally I can't see that part of the screen at the moment.
I can see.
No other hands are up.
Okay.
I don't know who can see who, but I agree with this wholeheartedly. He
Okay,
took
I'm
the
stopping
words
it
right out
here.
of my mouth.
Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so the motion cannot come from our guest, Bob, because he's not on the board. The Community Impact Statement Committee did review this. So the motion would be to approve the CIS as presented in favor of in favor of the city adding support for the single payer for health insurance legislation. So who moves this?
I make the motion. Hugh.
Okay. Hugh. And who seconds, if anyone?
I second Lizzie.
Lizzie seconds. Okay. So CIS as presented means as it was written on the agenda. Any further comments, questions? I know Bob would like to talk and further convince us, but I think we're convinced. So Greg, can we do a BAC?
Jasmine? Yes, you can do a BAC. Yes.
Got it.
Can you,
So,
can you
board
guys hear me?
members, I hope you're all still here.
Jasmine?
Yes, sorry, I was trying to
Okay,
mute myself.
okay. I was wondering if I was muted. Okay, so let me go back to my 1001 screens that open.
Okay, so
Dorit's
Jasmine,
absent.
yes, Dorit's absent, Hunter.
Hunter,
whatever.
John,
Yes.
Gabby's absent, Tori,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Carlos is absent, Laura,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Paula is absent, Raheem,
Yep.
Isaac is absent, Marielle is absent, Hugh,
Yes.
Cordell,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
No.
Greg, yes. Nancy, absent. Janie, absent. Lizzie,
Yes.
okay, so for CIS purposes, we have 12 yeses, 0 nos.
No, one no.
Oh, that's right.
No.
My bad. my bad. 1 no, 8 absences, and Hunter is not really.
He's not
considered
really,
in a-
it's kind of like vacant.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah,
vacant.
yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just need
Okay.
to take him off all the list. Okay,
Right.
so that's it.
Okay, so I am, now John, this is yours, but I'm going to share my screen because I have the edited version.
Oh, we voted on this too?
Yeah, on the CIS, John Arnold.
Yep. Okay. So everyone, I'm going to try to keep this to 4 minutes. So
Right.
basically, there is the city council is investigating the following that has been put forth by the National Ready Mix Concrete Association. Important to know. They are lobbying the city council to expand the high fire risk areas of the city, which are currently relegated to very small portions of downtown and Hollywood and basically dense urban areas, to expand it to an unknown extent throughout the city, and not only extend that high hazard fire district, but to limit or ban certain types of wood construction. Again, lobbied by the National Ready Mix Concrete Association. Wood construction is, and the CIS is to oppose this for a number of reasons, and I'm going to give you the cliff notes. The longer notes are in the CIS. First item, wood construction is the backbone of the housing industry. It is less expensive and more accessible to a wider range of developers than concrete or steel construction. This initiative, if passed, will upend the construction of housing and the housing industry, which would be imprudent in the current housing crisis. Next, there may be unintended consequences of funneling development to areas outside this high fire risk area, which may include into less wealthy and less dense areas in the flats of the city, such as UNNC. Number 3.
Wait, back up. I just want to point out in the red ink, no, John, because I don't know if you can see it. We added this sentence that's in red that's not on your agenda. So the Planning and Zoning Committee's motion would be to add that sentence. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Third item, this is again cliff notes. Modern large wood construction is universally, I'm an architect, I know this, universally sprinklered and fire rated to dramatically lower the risk of fire. So saying that new wood construction is a high fire risk is specious at best. Next, number 4, the California Building Code made changes in 2020 to enhance and encourage the possibilities of wood construction, and the city of Los Angeles should not be denied the opportunity to employ these changes to its benefits. Other progressive cities are adopting the enhanced changes to wood construction. Number 5, this initiative obviously is being sponsored by the concrete industry. And so the cynicism, there's already enough cynicism of government not working in the interest of constituents. And this would be yet another instance of lobbying to a major city to change policies regarding wood construction. Does not have the constituents' interests at heart, or it doesn't appear to be, even if they do. And lastly, the idea that wildfire risk is increased because of new sprinklered fire-rated wood frame construction is simplistic and cynically plays off fears of wildfire and climate change, again put forth by the National Ready-Made Concrete Association. And that's a synopsis of that. So we want to oppose the city even going forward with this ill-advised, drastic change to the construction industry in the city of Los Angeles.
Right. And one other thing that we're not going to vote on, but just as an FYI, there's probably many other unintended consequences. One thing that is true is that as of the beginning of this year, when a person sells their house anywhere in California, they have to disclose whether or not their house is in Fire District 1, the high hazard fire districts. And if it is, they may be required to take on additional expenses. So to make some corrections. So for example, you would have to potentially have to change the glass in your house, in the windows, which is not at all what seems to be the right thing to do throughout our community. So I'm not sure exactly what the impact would be, because there's a requirement for disclosure. There may or may not be a requirement for action, and they're not even discussing that at this level. So what we talked about primarily at planning and zoning is the potential impacts on the ability to build more housing. This would impact pretty much anything that is built over 30 feet in an area where the density is 5,000 people per square mile, which of course we have that in our area. So it would, and there's very few projects at 30 feet or under anymore to provide housing. So anyway.
Sure. It would gut the ability for the city to produce housing at an economical cost. It would
Right.
increase the cost of housing.
Yeah, and not just affordable housing, but the missing middle kind of housing as well. Might not have a terrible impact on luxury housing, but yay. Anyway, so normally we would do a motion to adopt the proposed community impact statement as presented on the agenda. Again, at planning and zoning, we added this one sentence in red that this might also discourage basically what's called the fair share concept, which is the basic planning department and housing element idea that housing initiatives should be throughout the city and in all neighborhoods, and amenities, and there should be amenities in all neighborhoods and housing in all neighborhoods. And this might upend it completely to end up concentrating the housing again in some neighborhoods and not others. So I don't know if I can unshare the screen, but we remember the red things, or I can't do the motion in the chat and keep the screen up.
I copied what was on the agenda for the motion.
Right, but
Okay. So let's vote.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do.
I have a question.
You have a question?
Hugo?
Sure, go ahead.
I guess I just wanted to be specific with the wording. It says the concrete industry, but who is specifically is the one that's pushing for it? Is it the National Ready Mixed Concrete Association?
That's correct.
Okay. Would it be better if we put that name instead rather than just concrete industry? General?
I can't remember what was actually in it.
Oh, hang on. If I leave what I'm doing.
On was on
here,
the agenda?
Here, this is what I'm doing. In the chat, I put the language we already added. And now I'm going to bring this back up. Sorry.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
Right. Where is it that we said what we said or didn't say?
It's probably in, I can't remember.
I brought the share back up.
It's going to be number 5.
No, I don't think we named.
Go to number 5.
We said build a safer Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's the name. That's the nickname of the motion itself. On the motion that the city council did, that's the nickname of the motion.
If you can stop scrolling for a second, it's in number 5.
Yeah, I'm not scrolling. I'm static. There must be a time delay. Okay, now I'm going to scroll to number 5. I see it. Oh, I see. So instead of the concrete industry, you want to say what?
The National Ready Mix Concrete Association.
Okay. Like that?
Yep. Ready mix might be hyphenated. Insignificant detail.
Okay. I just cannot go out on the internet to check this out at the moment. Sorry.
I'll do it.
Sorry.
Same, the intent is there.
Right. So you're thinking it might be that. All right. Could all be one word too. All right. Any other, I can't, so I'm back in the, I can't see hands. I'm in the screen share.
I see no hands.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit save on this. And so I think the motion would be motion.
Not
to-
hyphenated.
I'm sorry?
Not hyphenated.
Would be to approve the proposed CIS to oppose. Hey. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing this as fast as I can because we all want to go home at this point. Oppose CF 19-0603 with the changes in red that were added at the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting and the Governing Board meeting. Is that right? Something to that. I'm sorry, I'm sure I have a typo. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. So moved by, would that be John?
I'll move that.
Is there a second? From anyone?
I'll second it.
Was that Greg?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any, are there any questions, comments? What happens at the end of the meeting?
Probably question.
Okay, will do.
Okay, so ready to vote?
Yeah, so this is item.
There's a question on the floor.
I didn't hear that.
That Tori?
No, Chris, wasn't it Chris?
No, she
Yeah.
said call the question.
Yeah, this is item 11B. We're calling the question.
Okay.
Jasmine,
Abstain.
Okay. Dorit is absent.
Hunters, that's John,
Yes.
Gabby's absent, Tori,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Carlos absent, Laura,
Laura's a yes.
Hugo,
Hugo is a yes.
Paula is absent, Raheem,
Yep.
Isaac's absent, Marielle is absent, Hugh,
Yes.
Cordell,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Greg, yes, Nancy, absent, Janie, absent, Lizzie,
Yes.
so that's 12.
It's 12 yes.
12 yes, no nos, 1 abstain,
Okay.
and 8 absences.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, let's go home.
Okay. So once again, Treasurer, we kind of did what you needed to do, right? No reimbursement.
Yeah, there's nothing
voted
else.
Budget adjustments.
There's nothing else to share.
Okay. If I had a president's report, I've already forgotten what it is. And it's 10:06. Shall we adjourn?
Move that we adjourn.
Okay.
Well, so we skipped committee reports or did what?
Oh, shoot. We did.
I have a better word than shoot.
Okay, we're not adjourned. We have.
Let's adjourn. Let's adjourn.
Let's adjourn.
Let's adjourn.
Let's do those very quickly. We did. We just.
We can table our committee report.
Let's just do it fast. Sorry. Are there any committee?
Well, I mean,
Raheem.
I don't think there needs to be an emphasis on
Raheem,
doing
you
it
better say
fast.
something.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think there should be an emphasis on doing it fast. I mean, if other parts of the meeting weren't done fast necessarily, then I don't think it's fair to necessarily rush the committee reports. But anyway, communications committee, what I would like to share with the board members is that we've been doing some work doing brand survey chats with our committee chairs, which has been really productive. And we're trying to finish up. There's a couple of committee chairs that we're still waiting to hopefully join us for a chat. We have a couple of time slots open tomorrow. So just wanted to put it out to Hugo and Chris Carlson and Greg and John and Laura that, you know, we're available tomorrow. If you guys, if any of you are between 10:30 and 11, and again, between 12:30 and 1, no need to answer right now, but we are trying to get these wrapped up. So if any of you are available, shoot me a note and we'll get you scheduled for those.
I will apologize. I'm not. I have no idea what John's thing is, but I am not available tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm working on it.
And Laura, no need to answer right now. Anybody who is available can just shoot me a note and we can schedule from there.
All right. Okay, thank you. And I think, you know, you guys, Raheem and Gabby and their entire team is working really hard on multiple efforts. So I thank you for that. Are there yes, Lizzie, do you have a committee report? I guess you already gave yours earlier.
I said
what.
Amen, sister.
I'll do mine really quick.
Okay.
We're gonna have our meeting as usual, this time on the last Thursday from 7:30 to 8:30, 1 hour. And Dorit is gonna be one of our speakers this time. Last month we had LASA, and we had 3 people that they sent to speak on LASA's behalf to see what we can do different. It was specifically within our parameters that I go and talk to the homeless. So that was good. So now I can really have someone who we can hold accountable as far as placement within the parameters that we've been working in. And that's primarily mostly between Jefferson and Pico and Western, the Crenshaw right now. So they're working on a couple of them. And so we'll see what happens. So keep your fingers crossed. We can work on getting 100% of homelessness out of our area and start going beyond the parameters. And then eventually get to the whole 10th. That is the goal.
Okay.
I do have one very quick thing to say, if I may.
Sure.
So for this year's elections, well, it is kind of a personal goal, but I think we should strive to do this. And most of the board is already gone, is not here, but we really need to reach out to, there's 2 communities, 2 groups that are fundamental to make the UNNC work more efficiently, and I believe so, more inclusive. The undocumented population, which is vast in this footprint, they need to vote. They need to vote and speak up. Michael, do you have any comments?
No, I'm sorry. My mute was on.
Okay. And the unhoused community. So if we could find a way to get the word out to them. And Tori and Dorita, I will work with you to help them vote.
Better get those flyers to me quick.
Yes. But they might need help filling them out. That's what I'm saying.
That's okay. You go walking with me.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, any other committee reports? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none. Now can we adjourn? Okay, thank you, everybody. And
Bob has his hand up. Or was
We're
he
just,
saying
we're
bye?
just,
we're
just
just
saying
saying,
bye.
I just wanted to, I
Oh.
just wanted to thank all the board members for your service and let you know that the work you do on CIS is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Laura.
Now
Thank
we
you,
can say
Thank you,
goodbye.
Paula. Thank you. Thank you, Raheem. Thank you, Chris Carlson.
Thank you.
Jasmine.
Good
Thank
night,
you, Cordell.
everyone.
Thank
Okay.
you. Good night. Good night.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Mimi.
Night.
Hugo.
Night. Let you sleep well. Have pleasant dreams.
Now Hugo,
All
call
right.
me.
Hi,
Okay.
Tori.
Hi.
Hi,
Bye.
Chris.
Call
Hi,
me
Laura.
this week.
Bye.
bye-bye.
Night, night. Bye,
I'm gonna
Lacey.
end the
Bye.
meeting now.
No, we want to hang out forever. We want to hang out. The
No,
after
I
party.
don't, I hate to end it before people leave because it
No, we're
seems
gonna
so
hang out at the after
rude.
party. Okay, bye.
Okay, I'm
Bye.
ending it, bye.
Bye.
Laura,
Oh, wait, what?
I may have a word with you. Please stop
Okay,
the recording.
all right, hang, I'm stopping the